There are few memories of my early youth that are capable of holding a candle to the "dinosaurs are cool" arc of my childhood. And thankfully, I grew up when it was a good time to be a dinosaur fan. The hours I've sunk into the likes of 3D Dinosaur Adventure or Eyewitness Dinosaur Hunter is beaten only by the amount of time I've probably since spent playing Call of Duty Zombies. However, there is but one piece of media that has truly withstood the test of time and maintained its relevancy far beyond that of its long-forgotten competitors. All of you know it. The mass majority of you have probably seen it, and like many firsts of my history, I still remember my introduction to it. The day a young me was presented with that black VHS tape with the red and yellow logo of a Tyrannosaur skeleton. And since that day, I have watched them all so much that the dialogue sounds like how words start sounding when you repeat them in your head too many times. Jurassic Park. The pinnacle of dinosaur media, some might say. And like any movie that shows a modicum of success, Hollywood immediately began pelting us with sequels. Not at the same breakneck speed we're accustomed to nowadays, keep in mind. This was a different time, after all. However, it is interesting when you look into it and find that Michael Crichton really never intended for this story to continue. At this point in his career, he had never written a sequel to any of his books, and the only reason a second novel even came about at all was due to the overwhelming success of the film and the incredible amount of fans he garnered as a result of it. And really, he probably has one of my favorite quotes in relation to the concept of sequels. It's a very difficult structural problem because it has to be the same but different. If it's really the same, then it's the same. And if it's really different, then it's not a sequel. So it's in some funny intermediate territory. And thus into the excited hands of all came Michael Crichton's only sequel, The Lost World. And Steven Spielberg did decree, cool, I'm gonna make the movie have a completely different story. And a completely different story it had. And it's not like that different story came easily either. David Koepp over here went through 9 different drafts of this thing until he finally made something that Spielberg didn't whip him for afterwards. And I don't know what Crichton thought about this movie in the end, but it is worth noting that his novel had a couple scenes in it that were absolutely written with the idea of having a cool cinematic moment. Spoiler, they aren't in here. Now, was this for the better or for the worse? I guess you could argue that The Lost World is probably the most fondly remembered Jurassic Park sequel, but when your runners-up are Jurassic Park 3 and the World movies, it isn't necessarily something to be that proud of. But those are times yet to come. We're in 1997 right now, and that means there's only one Jurassic sequel to compare to the original. I mean, we could have had more, mind you. Originally, Spielberg wanted a tie-in animated series to release along The Lost World that would have featured people fighting 3-headed tyrannosaur slugs in mech suits. Can't imagine why we never got that, but I digress. All of the usual green flags are there, so did they in fact capture lightning in a bottle a second time? Let's find out, shall we? Dear viewer, I present to you The Lost World, Jurassic Park.
So, Will, that's how you open every video from now on, right? That's just...
Yeah. Well, that's going in. That'll go in somewhere. Don't worry.
Oh, poor Tom.
As we know, Lost World was a little bit of a world builder from right out the gate, as the story immediately introduces us to Isla Sorna. For those not up to date on their Jurassic lore, Sorna is the famous Site B in a chain of 5 islands 120 miles west of Costa Rica. As we learn from Exposition Santa himself, Isla Sorna was the island that the dinosaurs were initially bred on before being brought over to Site A, Isla Nublar, for containment within the park. Obviously, this is a retcon. Like, it's a retcon. We all know it. You can try and say it's not. I understand. I get it. but yeah, we literally saw them hatching on Isla Nublar in the first movie. Sorna didn't exist back then.
I insist on being here when they're born.
Island Ludlow was just a showroom, something for the tourists. Site B was the factory floor. That was on Ina Sauna, 80 miles from Ludlow.
No, it's not true, because you remember that thing?
Yeah,
You remember that thing when they were giving birth to velociraptors in the beginning of the movie?
It seems a bit
and you were there?
Seems a bit contradictory, Mr.
And you're
I'm
here
there for every birth.
Yeah, how you do that, Santa?
We made a Site B in case we wanted to make a
There's a
sequel.
side B, side C, a side B. Apparently you bought a whole bunch of fucking islands.
We knew there was going to be a sequel, so we made dinosaurs on a different island so that it was completely separate from where we were originally.
Yes.
And just let them roam free.
Is it?
Yeah. It's a retcon, but I'll concede that it was done about as well as it could have been done. Surprise, surprise, Crichton knows how to write stuff, and the bits that were lifted from his novel and made it into the film stand out. The hatchery in the original movie is explained to have been part of the tourist experience, while the main bulk of the operation was taking place on the other island to give them room for the 1 in 1,000 odds of getting an embryo to successfully develop. I guess this also means that John Hammond had at least one safety concern in mind while he was building this place, because he wisely decided to not create the genetic abominations in the same place he was going to be showcasing them at. You don't do the Satan ritual at your house, you do it at the neighbor's. Good forethought on Hammond's part. If only he had the same level of precaution when it came to containment.
Jeff Goldblum is us. He's like, you made another island? Another one?
Like, why? Why did you do that?
I have another island.
Do you remember the first film?
No, Dr. Goldblum. It'll be safer this time. This time there aren't fences to keep them in.
Yeah.
Oh, don't you see? This island is less safe.
Yeah.
That means it's better. They're flourishing, you see, because we allowed them to do their own things.
But as we learn, shortly after the events of the first movie, a hurricane struck Site B, forcing the scientists and other InGen employees to evacuate the island. However, one of the workers knew a sequel was going to happen, so he pushed the patented Release All button, allowing the dinosaurs to escape their enclosures and give them a better chance of survival against the approaching storm. Lo and behold, they are now thriving, turning the environment into their very own ecosystem, as these Rothschilds found out when they tried to claim the island without actually checking to see where they were. Property of InGen Incorporated? I probably own that. Honey, have the servants drop the anchor, will you?
Did these people just arrive to fucking Dinosaur Island to sit on a beach?
Yeah, they did.
Well,
But
they just like
they
stumbled
don't
across
know
it. They don't even know what's here.
It's a little bird.
Huh.
Just a little bird.
It's a little cutie.
It's just beef. It's good.
Oh, jolly good.
Like, oh, you took my finger off.
Would you like a crumpet?
You gotta see this bird I found. I really thought that these were really underused in the films.
Yes,
I think it was only used in this
I think
one.
they're neat. Little rat.
Well, I think they appeared in the
dinosaurs.
third one, but they weren't really used.
Yeah, I mean, like it's such a cool concept. Like it'd be so hard to fucking get rid of those.
I mean, just kick them.
They would get into everything, you know.
Well, yeah. Like, don't let them do that. Kick them.
Here's his daughter screaming and just goes, Kathy.
No, not when there's that many. They would nip your tips if you know what I mean.
that snake has legs.
That looks more like a Coelophysis than a Compsognathus.
That's what I was thinking as well.
Me too.
Just agree with him, guys. Everyone, shut the fuck up.
No.
All that aside, though, I do appreciate the visual gag of the movie hard cutting to Jeff Goldblum looking into the camera when the mother starts screaming. Whoever was editing that day must have really been happy with themselves, and I have to admit that I am too.
There's no way like they've done enough damage over that short a time, though. Is there?
No.
No.
It was a lot more gruesome in the book, I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah. And then isn't there a scene of like a velociraptor in a maternity ward or something?
Yeah, that's the one that always sticks out to me when I read that book. Yeah,
it wasn't a velociraptor. It was Compsognathus.
I remember the dinosaur thing. I read that book years ago.
Yeah.
I remember that being really like
Jurassic Park velociraptors probably don't hide very well in a fucking hospital.
Yeah, I'd be kind of questioning how it got in there. And
well, you see, guys, they're ambush predators. You don't really.
That's true.
You know?
They don't understand Asa. They were smarter than whales. They were smarter than dogs. They're smarter than primates.
Exactly, Jacob. Ambush predators.
Yeah, the velociraptor was wearing a ghillie suit when he broke into the nursery.
No, he was wearing a doctor's outfit, so they didn't notice him.
But yeah, now that we have that out of the way, we can catch up on what InGen's been up to since their company assets tried to murder everybody. Similar to how Paramount was prior to Kevin Costner rescuing them from the brink of bankruptcy, InGen's been having a little bit of a hard time as of late. Now, unfortunately, the majority of the context we receive on this comes from a deleted scene. I bring this up mainly because I know some people like to get all huffy sometimes when it comes to including deleted scenes in a breakdown critique. It was cut for a reason and all that jazz. And yeah, it's usually because of the runtime or because the studio didn't like it. You know what else was a deleted scene? The entire Slender Man movie. Seems like the decision-making on that front isn't completely foolproof, huh? There's also an important distinction between a deleted scene and an alternate scene, and in this case, I believe the omitted portions of this movie provide necessary context for certain story elements that we don't get otherwise, rather than a non-canon what-if route that was just filmed for the sake of potential alternate story paths. Plus, it does seem pretty unanimous among the Jurassic Park fanbase that these scenes should have been left in the film, so I will be including them in today's discussion. As such, we're introduced to Peter Ludlow, John Hammond's nephew and CFO at InGen. And during a board meeting, he breaks down exactly what the company is dealing with right now. To the undoubted shock of everyone, the rich people at the beginning of the movie are suing them now.
But a few weeks ago, a British family on a yacht cruise
trespassed on my property.
So I had them shot, Jeff.
Yeah, I don't really get why they were there in the first place.
She was injured. She wasn't killed, she was just injured.
Yeah.
Oh, she's fine.
Boo.
The board has used the incident to take control of InGen from me.
Well, yeah, Hammond. You made a second island of dinosaurs. It's a bit of a safety hazard.
Were there no like signs that said like you can't come to this island or no people on boats to be like you gotta fuck off?
Dinosaurs on board.
Private property, keep off. Yeah. It's just every now and then somebody stumbles across an island with dinosaurs and sues InGen for it.
Right. Wrongful death settlements, partial list. Family of Donald Gennaro, $36.5 million. Family of John Arnold, $23 million. Family of Robert Muldoon, $12.6 million.
Not necessarily that important to note, but I find it funny that Ludlow didn't bring up any of the lawsuits from Nedry's death. Apparently nobody actually noticed or cared that he was devoured by Dilophosaurs in the previous film. Either way, the situation paints a fairly bleak picture for the future of the company, and unfortunately their CEO isn't helping things at all. At some point between the two movies, John Hammond decided to flip ideologies and began saying that the dinosaurs should be free. As such, he forbade InGen from doing literally anything with these things, basically just making it so whenever some rando stumbled across them, the company would have to fork over another $15 million to keep them quiet about all their children getting eaten. Basically, John Hammond decided to turn his nephew's life into a living nightmare, because as the chief financial officer, he gets to be the one to go tell the board that they're being sued again because their overgrown demon chickens attacked someone again. As per the logical progression of this, Ludlow proposes removing John Hammond as CEO because as it stands, InGen probably only has a couple months left in it before it gets sold to Disney. And in order to recoup these constantly occurring losses, Ludlow further proposes moving forward on what was apparently John Hammond's original plan of Jurassic Park San Diego, a half-built amphitheater that he ended up abandoning in favor of the Isla Nublar plan.
An amphitheater?
I'm confused on how the amphitheater would work. Would they just like bring dinosaurs out individually and show people, or like how? I don't.
Yeah, like a show.
It'll be like a
SeaWorld.
gladiator.
Yeah, they would
theater.
come out riding them well.
Right, of course, yeah.
Yeah. Have you not seen Gladiator 2?
I mean, I personally would have gone more with the zoo format, but I mean,
Gladiator.
Yeah. Bringing the dinosaurs to the city offers better income potential since people don't have to go to this random island out in the middle of nowhere, and the concept of coming to see them will still be an exciting one for the general public since their existence has still been kept a secret up to this point. So, yeah, fair play to you, Ludlow. You're still obvious bad guy, don't get me wrong, but given your position, this isn't the most unrelatable decision ever made. Some may call you evil 'cause want money, but I don't think that's entirely fair. You don't just want money, you need money, or else you're going to get bought out by someone more evil than you. And I understand the concept as you ominously adjust your glasses and smirk at the comment of,
Believe me, I don't enjoy having to say these things about my own uncle.
You're just a humble villain trying to do right by your evil genetics company that's cloning super predators. I get it, man. You're doing better than the last Jurassic Park villain I tried to analyze, so you got that going for you. Ladies and gentlemen of the board, we're all going to be unemployed by the end of the week, unless we do something with all these animals we spent millions of dollars to make and are just leaving on an island for some reason. All in favor of getting rid of the person who's actively trying to bankrupt us. So what's John Hammond's plan of action in this scenario, you may be asking? Well, the answer is spending more money on things the company doesn't need. Building a new theme park? Balderdash, I say. We need to send more people over to the island to die horrible deaths to these things. More lawsuits, my dear nephew, more lawsuits! And so he invites Ian Malcolm over to his mansion so that he can gaslight him into going back over there. And thus we have come to the reintroduction of Ian Malcolm. He hasn't really been up to anything interesting lately. Mainly, he's just been labeled as a crazy person because he's the only one who didn't take InGen's compensation to stay silent. He complains to Ludlow about this as if it's some shocking thing they did to him out of nowhere.
Oh, are you here to talk about stuff with my uncle? He's a big lawyer, you know. You didn't follow the non-disclosure agreement.
I was attacked by the dinosaurs that those people made. No, he wasn't. Gee, I wonder which side is going to be more believable to the general public, Ian. Also, wild to think that a big corporation would go this far out of its way to ruin your reputation when you start pointing out the evil things that they're doing, huh? What a completely out of left field chess move that was.
You see, the investors are very important.
I am evil corporation man.
I am the villain.
He's evil British
I mean, so
man.
far this whole movie's been rich assholes doing rich asshole things. You know?
Yeah.
I get
There's no such thing as dinosaurs, Mr. Goldblum. We'll make sure of it.
Not by me. You're going to wrinkle my suit. This costs a lot of money.
Careful. This suit costs more than your education.
I want to point out that I also said that before I read the subtitles because I wasn't listening.
Oh, he's rich, get it?
See, he's rich asshole guy.
He's rich and pompous, and he's British.
I just can't believe that this evil company would do this to me. I'm Ian Malcolm. I'm an expert on probabilities and chaos theory. I didn't see this coming when I told the world dinosaurs tried to eat me. We can give him some credit, though. After all, check out how he knew Hammond was sending 4 people to the island before an actual number was specified to him.
And who are these 4 lunatics that you're trying to con into this?
And again, this is because the point of this scene, where Hammond said, "I'm sending 4 people," was from a section that was cut out. The only reason people even know it exists is because of a behind-the-scenes documentary.
I've organized an expedition.
What do you mean, like with people?
Strictly observation and documentation. 4 members only.
4? People? John, you need like the National Guard.
I'm sensing a pattern today. But yeah, that's pretty much all Malcolm's been doing. And now he's being summoned by Hammond to be part of a team of researchers tasked with traveling to Isla Sorna to play Jane Goodall with the dinosaurs.
Mr. Hammond, you're doing the first movie again.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson, old man?
We get all of the aforementioned exposition, and it culminates with Hammond finally asking Malcolm to be the 4th team member. Meet with your fellow operatives / spare sheep characters to slaughter later on, grab your equipment, travel to Site B so that you can study how the dinosaurs are living on the island, and answer long-posed questions left unanswered by the fossil record. One, of course, being how are the dinosaurs even still alive to begin with? The first movie gave us the exposition that they were bred lysine deficient, and without being supplied with it manually, they would die within a week. This, of course, being a contingency plan should any of them escape, or the overall plan just doesn't work out for whatever strange and unexpected reasons. I'm just going to save you the time right now and tell you that this is explained with a throwaway line later on. This was simply an obstacle the writers had to figure out in order to make a sequel, so they dedicated a proper 9 seconds of runtime to explaining it away. Which I have to say, that's a far cry from the 3.5 chapters that Kalyton spent explaining it. The vegetation has lysine in it. Okay, whatever. I'm not going to look up how that would work in lysine deficient animals. This is Jurassic Park, not a creature was stirring. We can afford a little leeway in the scientific accuracy here. Plus, it's funnier to be overly pedantic with the obvious bad movies anyway. Just so you know, the person who wrote A Creature Was Stirring didn't look up what porcupine meant before writing it into the script. That's all. Let's carry on.
This is why you set a ticking time bomb in each one. That way, after the 7 days, they just die.
Well, that's what they were. Yeah, that's what they were.
No, but not fucking hormone-wise. Make a literal bomb.
Oh,
spare no expense, Zach.
That's fair. That's fair. Spare no expense.
Spare no expense.
In the end, this entire project is merely Hammond's last-ditch attempt at keeping Isla Sorna as a preservation site and preventing InGen from taking the animals off of it in order to make a new park. His intention is to rally public opinion against the company and the concept of a zoo with the release of this research by the time the dinosaurs' existence is revealed to them. And man, I'm really trying not to word this like I'm on InGen's side here, because obviously I'm not, but my god, Hammond is being a crazy person right now.
Look, everyone, the dinosaurs are free and beautiful. We must not let the evil corporation exploit them.
Like, sure, man, I get the sentiment. But honestly, both sides suck right now. And it's for reasons that the first movie so eloquently addressed, but unfortunately is not really being addressed in this movie. The entire reason this situation even exists in the first place is because of the hubris of your actions, John. You brought these animals back into the world. You defied the conclusive decision of nature to satisfy your own means. The evil corporation is going to do what evil corporations do. Hey, look, let's make money off of that. But you're the one who created this problem to begin with your direct opposition to the very flow of life. You were the one who sewed the monkey torso onto the fish body, and now that you've thrown it back into the water, you're getting mad because the people who helped are trying to get it back before someone sees it. And Mr. Hammond, I dare say this is not something you seem to recognize as you blather on about going back to the island to study them. But some might say, what really is the solution here, save for just nuking that entire island chain? Because I know some people might object to the niceness of that solution. And also, it would probably just create mutant dinosaurs, and that's way worse. In the end, I think the point that Kalyton was going for was that there is no solution. At least not one that comes with a completely clean soul. For those who don't know, John Hammond was not the cheery and lovable teddy bear that we know him as in the novel. Technically speaking, he was a bad guy, and there is certainly thematic reasoning for that.
So you went from capitalist to naturalist in just 4 years. That's something.
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. No, he didn't. What the fuck are you talking about? No, he didn't.
It's our last chance at redemption.
Yeah, redemption at my money. I need to get my investment back.
You don't understand. I really need a hole right now. I might drop out of the billionaire section. I might have to sit in the millionaire section. Do you know that they don't have lion-clad seats in there?
Every single Jurassic Park sequel interprets Kalyton's message as, we cannot contain what we think we can Contained! When in reality, what he was actually saying was a lot more nuanced. Hammond wielded scientific advancement as a naive child would wield a box of matches. He played God, and as such placed a stain upon his soul through the ignorance of what consequences his actions would bring. It's not that we can't control nature and that it's gonna break free, life finds a way, yada yada. That is there, yes, but it comes from the very fact that we are trying to control nature, and it feeds back into a lot of real life examples I could draw on. Take pugs, for example. You remember these things that used to be wolves, and now they can barely take full breaths of air on their own. Yeah, this is what you've done, John Hammond. You made that. You can't unmake that. It's done, and it lives as a product of your willful ignorance. But anyway, look at this evil company trying to exploit my monkey mermaids. We need to stop them, Malcolm. Explains why Crichton didn't really want Hammond to live past the first book, doesn't it? Obviously, Malcolm says no to this. And obviously, Hammond knew that Malcolm was going to say no to this. And being the psychopath that he is, he constructed the situation in a way so that he would be forced to go anyway.
So what are they hiring him to go do?
Go study the dinosaurs.
She's fine. Go study the dinosaurs. Okay.
Yes.
What do they need a chaos theory? A chaosologist for?
Yeah.
He's a math person. What the fuck is he gonna math out for?
Because he's lived through real dinosaurs.
Public opinion is...
That one time when he got smashed by one in a bathroom and then proceeded to just lay on a gurney.
Listen, Malcolm, I know you don't want to go back to the place that traumatized you for the rest of your life, so I sent your girlfriend there before I reached out to you.
I've also installed the chip into her neck.
I got it from this really cool comic I read. It's called The Suicide Squad.
Yes, Hammond is using the if you ever want to see your family again route of getting Jeff Goldblum involved in this sequel.
I need to call my agent. Get out of this movie.
I'll only come back for
And
the
the
last
agent
Jurassic
says
World movie.
it's too late.
It's too late. You've
I'm
already
sorry,
signed
Jeff.
the
You signed the
contract,
contract,
Jeff.
yeah. All right, Jeff, you signed the
I'm
contract.
sorry,
You gotta
Jeff.
come back.
It's
You gotta
too
come back in
late.
20 years for Fallen Kingdom. So, no. And Dominion. No. And Rebirth. No.
She came to me, I want you to know this, and she was adamant, absolutely adamant.
Yeah. When I painted this picture of dinosaurs and how cool it was, she was adamant about going there.
She spent years studying African predators, sleeping downwind and all. She knows what she's doing.
Relax, Malcolm. She's worked with African predators. Those are comparable to dinosaurs. Remember how the whole reason the first movie happened was because a velociraptor slaughtered an employee the first chance it got, and a couple of the shareholders were like, wow, John, these things are kind of aggressive. You want to bring kids here, huh? You wouldn't have a problem with it if I was cloning condors. Muldoon going through the whole movie saying, these things are an abomination to God and should all be destroyed. Immediately gets ripped apart by a raptor. Yeah, I don't know what his problem was. Dude couldn't see the bigger picture clearly. But that's okay, because now Malcolm is panicking because his girlfriend could already be dead. And it is now his obligation to try and rescue her and pray that it isn't too late.
It's not a research expedition anymore. It's a rescue operation, and it's leaving right now.
Notice how the theme song plays triumphantly when Malcolm says that. The ransom worked, everybody. He's going back to the island. Everything worked out all hunky-dory for Mr. John Hammond today. Another victory for the forces of good, if I do say so myself. The following scene introduces us to the rest of John Hammond's team, Eddie and Nick. Eddie being our tech guy, and Nick being our PETA insert, so the voice of John Hammond can go on beyond the boundaries of his screen time. He is being played by Vince Vaughn, though, so I guess it's not all bad, all things considered. We're also introduced to Kelly, Malcolm's daughter, who we get to have a good scene dedicated to in order for Malcolm to inform the audience that she absolutely will not be joining us on the trip over to Dino Deathland today.
Dad?
What's wrong, Tom?
Yeah.
Yeah, what's wrong, Tom?
Nothing.
Is it?
Nothing.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm not. I just didn't think
something amiss,
Malcolm
Tom.
would, no.
Yeah, so is there a problem?
We're just
Tom? Is
sitting.
there a problem
We're just.
here?
We're just sitting in a room, and you were just looking at me, and I'm sweating nervously. No, I just didn't expect Jeff Goldblum to have a child. It didn't strike me as a dad.
Is that the only reason? Is that the only reason? He said it in the first one.
No, I'm just shocked. I'm just shocked that the resemblance is uncanny. You know,
Just stop talking, Tom. We know you are.
This man has a black child.
Yes.
The fuck?
Like fully. Like fully black.
Yeah.
These things happen.
That is not a mixed individual.
Not at all.
Now, Kelly, don't you even think about smuggling yourself on board and coming with us to Isla Sorna now. We have a stereotypical strained father-daughter relationship with each other, but that doesn't mean you're going to be a character in this movie. That RV down there, Kelly, yeah, that's going to Isla Sorna with us. And don't you go hiding yourself in that RV when I walk away from the scene, Kelly. Don't you do it. Also, the high school cut you from the gymnastics team. That's definitely not going to be a plot point later in this dinosaur movie, Kelly.
She does gymnastics, guys. I wonder if that'll come up.
I'm sure that's unimportant.
How could that possibly be relevant in a movie about dinosaurs?
You're reading into this too much, Dan. That's not going to come back.
Yeah, and you're stupid.
Yeah, it's just a talent and a hobby that she has for no, it's not going to come up.
You're watching movies wrong.
Now, Kelly, I'm going to walk away from the scene and completely forget that you're here or that you even exist, which will allow you to pull off things that I would otherwise be opposed to. Allow me to reiterate that you are definitely not going to be coming with us to Isla Sorna. This is your only scene in the movie, Kelly. Anyway.
Since she knows Sarah, why didn't he just tell her, Sarah's in trouble, I gotta go, save her? And then she would know that it's dangerous.
Because
it'd be a dangerous thing to go on.
They have
she wouldn't go.
Well, Shammy, it's because they have
I'm
a strained father-daughter
I'm
relationship.
going to an island full of horrible dinosaurs.
Well, that's racist.
I thought that said, I was looking at the island names. That looked like Isla Taco for a second. I was like, wow, that doesn't look right.
Yeah, that sounds like a fun island.
That sounds like a fun island, yeah.
I want to go to Isla Taco.
Isla Taco.
There's actually a third island where I've made taco dinosaurs.
Just a bunch of dinosaurs wearing sombreros.
Sombreros and holding maracas. Yeah.
Oh man.
Normally made completely out of tortilla shells.
Normally I'd be afraid of a Tyrannosaurus Rex, but this one, it's kind of fun.
Yeah. Our gang of plucky heroes here are off to the island. We get a few establishing shots of the island and the scenery about before it's off to go look for Sarah.
Oh,
look, a dinosaur. There it is. Ah, it's gone.
That was a seagull.
Oh yeah, you're right.
I mean, still a dinosaur.
No, it's a seagull.
That's a seagull.
It's still a dinosaur. Shut up.
Jacob. That was a seagull.
That's a seagull.
Yes, but no.
It was Seagull, Jacob.
Yeah, okay, it was Jason Segel. Yes, he's in How You Met Your Mother.
Thank you. I'm glad you understand. Right, okay.
Sarah! If she hears you, things that other ears can hear you. But also she didn't hear you. Because
even though she's here.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Even though she is now right behind that.
Yes.
And chose to say
now
nothing.
She's right behind that. because she definitely wasn't before.
Sarah, there you are.
Sarah, I've been looking all over for you, Sarah Harding.
Oh, by the way,
hi, Dad.
I would take my chances with a carnivore than one of these things. Just saying.
Yeah. These things are coming.
What do you mean?
They're coming over to murder whatever was just shouting a second ago.
No, this is the Sailosaurus.
Yeah.
This is the Sarasaurus. Yes.
Yeah.
No, the Sailosaurus. Look, it's got little sails on it.
Yeah.
Actually, a pirate dinosaur.
He uses it for going through the water during the windy days.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a pirate dinosaur.
Yeah, she's right there.
Do you guys not see her?
Yeah, no. He doesn't see her.
And thus, Sarah Harding has entered the movie. Also, she didn't hear them calling.
Where did
for
you
her
get
a second
there?
ago?
No,
She ignored him.
Taking pictures
just like
of
a woman.
dinosaurs.
Yeah,
Bill.
she couldn't hear him through the camera.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, she's a redhead. They don't hear anything.
That's true.
And I never thought in a million years I'm gonna get you to come here.
Oh, the place where I was almost killed by mini Godzilla. Yeah, no, I didn't really want to come here, honey. I'm glad you're having a good time, though.
This poor guy, he's over here telling everyone, hey, this shit's really fucking dangerous. Everyone's like, oh my god, look how cool this is.
Yeah, nobody cares. Nobody's listening to him.
Poor guy.
Yeah.
Those animals just walked by. Did you see them?
No, because apparently they didn't see
Sarah,
you
I
either.
didn't see the giant dinosaurs.
It was a family group, a pair bond and a subadult. Long after the juvenile was
I hate
found.
you.
Every
Shut
big
up.
clutch I've seen has got
Shut up.
Been attacked.
Oh no, that's my lucky pack. That's how it always looks.
You know that. We dated.
Man, he really came to this island for like a 5 out of 10.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to walk in the water. There's a dry patch.
No,
to your
because
right.
she's adventurous.
you don't have.
She's
You don't
an
have to.
independent woman.
do
She
that.
walks where she wants.
Yeah,
she is
damn,
quirky and
Tom.
adventurous.
First-
I walk through the river.
Why is she walking in the water?
Because it makes less sound.
Because
Yeah,
it's sad.
Yeah, it's stealthier. Gotta cover your scent.
Yeah, like it's not like the animals are gonna track you by your whatever.
You've not played a stealth game before in your life, right?
Anyway, as we know, Sarah Harding has worked with African predators. Therefore, we can expect only the most competent of actions from her, considering that she realizes that wild animals of any kind are dangerous things. A bit heavier on the emphasis for that as well, given the giant murder lizards this island is crawling with, but the fact remains. And so, to showcase her competency to us in the most brilliant way possible, we get to watch her immediately walk up to one of the dinosaur's infants so she can begin screwing with it. Not only that, but it is the infant of the dinosaur that has a morning star for a tail.
She's much too close. What the hell is she doing? Too close, too close.
Come on now, Malcolm. Everybody knows that herbivores are nice. No need to ruin this beautiful moment.
Yeah. While he goes, Mommy! Mommy! And Mommy comes home.
Yeah.
Because mothers are protective.
Yeah.
Even back then, I imagine they were. Otherwise, nothing would have lived.
Reminds me of when my cross country team would go up in the mountains for high altitude training. My dumbass teammates found a fucking bear cub and decided to chase it around. I was like, bro, I'm leaving you.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah, like an idiot.
Are they still with us?
Yeah, he is. Well,
Oh,
I haven't
wow.
spoken to him in a long time, so I don't know, but he didn't die from that.
Yeah. Now imagine for just a brief moment in time if Sarah was doing this with a baby boar and how well that would subsequently be working out for her. This is a concept that DuckTales was able to properly understand.
Oh, just about the same.
Look,
yeah.
magical
It'd be fine.
instrumental music is playing. That means
That's
it's
fair.
fine.
That is fair, yeah.
Could you imagine if that thing headbutted her?
Yeah.
What? This is what you do. You stick your fingers towards its mouth.
Up its nose, right?
Yeah, stick your fingers up its nostrils. That means you pose no threat.
Touch. Don't touch.
Yes, the small versions of the dangerous things are cute. However, the problem with this is that the small versions are usually surrounded by the big ones that want to disembowel you. And much like a certain moron who tries to pet baby velociraptors, I'm afraid I must inform you of the ill-advised actions you are currently taking, Sarah.
Help! Now you're really gonna fuck with their habitat because you're gonna introduce an unnatural food source.
Okay, so
Look at it. So beautiful.
So I would imagine that you would also have to apply certain real world principles when it comes to extant animals.
No,
like
it's fine.
you don't go to a baby moose and touch it.
No.
Because
I do. You hold your hand out and you go touch.
Touch. Don't touch.
Yeah.
Do not
You
touch any wild animal.
do not touch a baby moose. Do not touch a baby
Don't-
stegosaurus.
Don't listen to this man.
Yeah. She knows what she's doing, Jake.
Guys,
She's worked with African predators, Jake.
If anyone watches this, you too can be on the Darwin
I'm
Award
sorry,
if you
but
try your best.
I'm sorry, but the most dangerous animals in Africa are not the predators. That's all the herbivores.
It's all the hippos.
And now it only hurts when you touch it. Touch. Do I have to follow you all day?
Little did she know that Stegosaurus hate Nick on cameras.
Stegosaurus.
I didn't say you could record me.
I didn't give my consent. You can't film me in a public
Girl,
space.
you ran into a crowd of them. What's wrong with you?
She needed a shot of the nest to prove her point about these dinosaurs. But both pictures she takes, she's super close. And a super close shot is not going to prove that the parents are actually caring for this baby. You need a picture, like, far up, a little distance picture of the nest with the parents close by to prove your point that the parents are taking care of this baby. They haven't abandoned it.
Also, for someone who's worked with African predators, just African animals or whatever, she sure as shit just decides, I'm going to get really close to the babies of these incredibly large, dangerous animals.
Yeah, that's fine.
That have massive spikes on their tails.
It's cute. That means it's nice.
No.
Nice dinosaur.
Oh yeah, animals try to protect their babies from things they don't recognize. I guess that is a thing, huh?
I'll be damned.
So yeah, Sarah's only been on screen a total of 3 minutes, and she's already proving Malcolm right on why she shouldn't be here. I'm a little hard pressed to believe she's even lasted this long, to be perfectly honest. Not really sure how long she's been here because the movie doesn't specify, but the only way I can really rationalize it is if I assume this is the first animal she has ever seen in her life, and all of the other dinosaur exposition she gave us from earlier were just random shot in the dark guesses.
They're leaving. I think they're leaving.
I think they're leaving. You're just gonna have to take my word for that. Our CGI budget ran out. Oh, how lucky. Good. The dinosaurs knew they were on a time limit. Hurry, let's move Sarah into the next scene now.
I don't like that. Dinosaurs can pick up scents from miles away. We're here to observe and document, not interact.
Yeah, thank you, Sarah. Got a little bit of a rule for thee, but not for me thing going on right now, do we? Bet that translates well into the relationship, doesn't it, Malcolm? Goes up and does everything short of poking the baby stegosaur with a stick, but God forbid Vince Vaughn has a cigarette.
You approached a infant ant dinosaur and petted it.
I know what I'm doing.
Also, I'm guessing Sarah doesn't have any kind of base of operation here, because if she does, we sure never see it. They lead her straight back to the RV, and there's never any word of her picking up any supplies from where she was originally staying before these goofballs showed up. Again, I have no idea how long she's actually been here, but apparently everything she brought with her to this place is in that backpack. The only point of reference we have is Hammond saying,
She's already there. The others are meeting her in 3 days.
Obviously, we know that Malcolm sped that timeline up a little bit, but, I mean, that doesn't really look like 3 days worth of supplies.
Get a granola bar or something? I'm starving!
I forgot to pack before I came here, guys. I basically only have my camera, one roll of film, and whatever was already in the backpack when I grabbed it. I haven't eaten since I left, and also I think something poisonous bit me yesterday, so I'm not 100% sure you guys aren't hallucinations yet. And as it turns out, this is actually a translation error from the book. Because as I said, the movie has an almost entirely different story, yet it still lifts certain elements from the novel. And I don't just mean event-wise. The only scene that truly matches its novel counterpart is the bit where the T-Rexes push the RV over the cliff. However, it is worth noting that Sarah did not have a home base in the book either. And the reason for that is not for any storyline purpose, or even an oversight on Crichton's part. The reason she didn't have a home base was because she was the last one to get to the island. Malcolm and the others were already there at this point, and Sarah had simply hitched a ride to join up with them. And so this isn't even an adaptation error. It's simply poor translation. Not necessarily a major one, but an interesting one. The writers did not take into account the circumstances in which Sarah was on the island. All that happened in the book was that she joined up with our main characters, and as such, that's all that happened in the movie, even though the events surrounding it have different context, and that context is still vaguely reflected. Oh well, all irrelevant. We have our characters all nice and happy together now, so we can move on to the next shocking reveal.
I just wanted to make dinner. Want it ready when you guys got back. Yeah.
Ah, excellent. There are children here again. So basically, everyone Malcolm cares about came to the dinosaur island, and none of them are taking it seriously about how dangerous they are. There's no way the scenario hasn't been something he's dreamed about at least once.
Okay, listen. I'm taking my daughter out of here. Anybody who wants to come with me, this is your last chance to get out.
So listen, when you're out in the field, nothing we can do can leave any
Nick,
room
if you're
for people to say that our findings are
I'd be happy to
contaminated.
deliver a letter to
Once
your
the
wife
research
or your
release
loved
the
one,
blood
give
in
a
the
chance to
water,
say
you're
goodbye to
dead.
I don't like how she's talking over him. Like, he's clearly concerned about his daughter.
Right.
He wants to get his daughter, the child, out of this environment, and she's just talking over him like his concerns aren't valid.
You're a overreacting person who has trauma from being here last time. Dude actually like almost died last time he came here to these things, and his girlfriend is sitting here like, you're overreacting.
You're such a nerd.
Yeah, Malcolm is actually just in a waking nightmare right now. The true John Hammond special, let me tell you. Imagine if this dude would have spared no expense on haunted house attractions instead of cloning dinosaurs. We'd be watching one hell of a different genre right now, I tell you that much. We don't go to the Cinco Muertes. They say a man turned on one of CERN's particle accelerators there, and now it's basically a doom level. Dang, sorry, I just strayed hard off into the weeds with that one. I just got a lot of really funny images in my mind about that alternate storyline. We'll get back to dinosaurs now.
Eddie.
You really came
Eddie?
all that way in
What?
this trailer?
Why in the hell doesn't this thing ever work?
This is not the point of the plot where it's supposed to, Jeff.
Right.
Yeah. Because, satellites, you have to wait for it to be right above you in order for the phones to work.
Yep. You gotta wait for the satellite to orbit over. It works at precisely 11:17 every day for 3 minutes, and that's it.
How did she make that big of a mess from just like the little bit of like cooking she was getting ready to do?
Dude, you'd be surprised. You'd honestly be
No one
surprised.
seems
Sometimes
to
I
be
go upstairs.
worried
I'm
about
like,
the
what
fact that there's a
fuck?
child here.
What was she doing?
Yeah, now I'm like, okay, yeah, Bill has a point. She did make a hell of a mess, but a lot more than what I saw originally.
As you can imagine, Steven Spielberg's eyeing the cast list and doing some calculations at this point of the script. Needless to say, we don't have enough people to kill off right now. Obviously, we can't kill the kid off. Jeff Goldblum might as well have a glowing force field around him. Julianne Moore is still relatively popular right now, and also she has the added benefit of Jeff's force field rubbing off onto her. Maybe we could get away with killing Vince Vaughn. And, I mean, Richard Schiff is kind of at the bottom of the Hollywood popularity contest within this group, so things aren't exactly looking great for his future. Regardless, Malcolm grabs his trusty binoculars so that he can look through the wrong end of it and witness the arrival of Team 2, thus introducing the main conflict going forward and our little hunter-gatherer theme that the movie is clearly going for with it. And into the movie enters InGen's official team rather than the drunken side project the former CEO somehow managed to pull off a day earlier. There are a multitude of new characters to introduce here. Mostly we just got extras and random future dino dinner scenes, but some important people to bring up are Roland, RJ, Robert the stereotypical 90s paleontologist dude, and Dr. Hill from Until Dawn. I know some of you might find it uncultured of me to equate Peter Stormare's career to Until Dawn, but that's what's most fresh in my memory right now, so that's what I'm going with. Oh yeah, I forgot. It's
John Abruzzi.
Yeah, it's a Until Dawn therapist dude.
Oh my god, it is!
Yeah, there he is.
Oh my god, yes! Say some creepy shit, go on.
Well, I'm gonna leave you now, Josh.
Did you know that there are zombie spider needles on this planet? Yes, they're everywhere. I've seen them.
And of course, the most important person to mention here is the all too famous Roland, the character this movie actually should have been about.
Best character in the movie.
Yeah, yeah.
This guy's like, I don't want to get paid money. I just want to fucking kill a T-Rex. He's fucking Giga Chad Hunter guy.
The most based person in the entire franchise.
He's like, just serve a scotch. Don't pay me money. I just want to hunt a T-Rex and kill it. Yeah!
I did. Yeah.
Why isn't the movie about this guy?
I think.
Why isn't he the protagonist?
Yeah, for real. And unfortunately, we have to cram all of his character introduction and overall motivations into a 20-second monologue he gives Peter in his very first shot of the film. This is because his original introduction scene, like a lot of things from this movie I'm discovering, was cut. And honestly, the loss of this scene is the biggest travesty of Lost World. Sure, you could probably argue that the T-Rex in San Diego was sillier, but this is Roland we're talking about here. We all lost the scene that establishes him as a human being, and he still ended up being the best character in the movie. But in an effort to get us to the island and shove dinosaurs into our faces as quickly as possible, this was unfortunately sliced away from the final cut. Now don't get me wrong, we're not missing out on the pinnacle of cinema here or anything, but the scene does do a pretty good job of establishing Roland as an honorable game hunter, a man with many stories to tell but no desire to tell anymore. InGen reached out to him to lead the expedition, and as we learn from the utterly and completely not awkward exposition dump he gives Ludlow here, he knows what he's doing. But yeah, these guys are here to capture dinosaurs for InGen's Take 2 on Jurassic Park. And this scene of their arrival shows them essentially getting right to work, capturing stuff and getting themselves situated.
All right, boys, get out your dog leashes.
Hell yeah.
We're going to catch some dinosaurs.
Well, I would hate to be the guy doing this shit.
Yo.
I don't want to do that.
I've been hit in the back by a goat.
This would be worse than a goat.
I feel like that would be worse than a goat.
Yeah.
When it lowers its head, its neck lines up directly with its backbone, which is perfect for absorbing impact.
Oh, that guy's dead.
Thank you for the demonstration.
Shit! That's a dangerous animal.
Hide around the tree. It's retarded. It's a lizard.
Here's the fun fact. Did you know that Pachycephalosaurus is a close relative to Triceratops?
No.
Cool.
Yeah, I didn't.
You can tell because they both have things on their heads.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But did you know, in 125 million years, they would evolve into Sonic the Hedgehog? I'm just saying. You know.
I don't know why they're putting so much effort into this. They just have to raise their hand up at it and...
I know,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Oh Jesus!
Oh my
I thought it knocked her out.
He's like big giant punching
they're
gloves.
just getting ready to squish
It's
it.
like those Hulk gloves from like a childhood.
It's almost
Yeah.
like these are like
That's
dangerous animals or something, but I don't know. It's weird.
Nah.
Yeah.
That's how you make dinosaur jam. Give them a little squish, you know?
All right, man. We have to capture every single one of these individually. Let's start.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. It's going to be a long day.
The Cincinnati
Soccer
Zoo is
boppers.
paying a mint.
Yeah, good luck with that, buddy.
I was just about to ask you, Red, like how difficult
Yeah,
would you say it
no.
would be to aim like while in like a car? Like that?
Basically, you probably don't even need to bother.
Yeah, yeah. We also take an opportunity to establish that Dr. Hill is a bad guy.
There haven't been any visitors to this island. There's no reason for it to fear man.
You bitch.
No, it does.
Yeah. Great idea. Would have punched that dude in the face. Jesus Christ. Is
Walk
this some
past
weird
the
hate
dead
boner for
dinosaur.
animals here or some weird shit?
They're demonstrating that they're the big bad guys.
Yeah.
And so the other guys are the good guys.
Yes. That one.
And so in order to make you view these guys that aren't really good guys as good guys, they got to make some guys that are really bad guys.
Now, of course, as we know, capturing and hunting animals is mean, and the movie takes point to ensure that we know this by cutting to Julianne Moore looking sad when they subdue a Parasaurolophus.
They're interfering.
What are
Only
they
I
doing?
can do that.
What are they doing?
Meanwhile, Roland has found a T-Rex print, and so he grabs his trusty weapon to collect his fee. So much for the predators staying in the center of the island, but I mean, big surprise there. Hammond and Sarah were wrong about how safe this was. An interesting thing to take note of here follows shortly after, wherein Roland and RJ find the nest with the baby T-Rex. There's a short discussion between them how they're going to approach taking down the father when it returns, and Roland informs him of a plan for it. The obvious question that pops into my head at this point is, how does Roland know that the father is even still around? At this point, no one is aware of how Tyrannosaur parenting works, and InGen would have no info to give to him anyway because they didn't want their assets mating. Clearly, Roland here never watched Walking with Dinosaurs, otherwise he would know that baby T-Rexes are only raised by the mother. Amateur work, really. But anyway, after this, we cut to a scene of the baby Rex tied to the ground with a broken leg, howling in pain. We don't get any indication of what happened, but we're left to assume that Roland broke the leg himself in order to lure the parents into the kill zone. It is a little bit jarring, to say the least, considering the large gap of time the filmmakers are leaving to our imagination and assumptions. And to be clear, I don't know how big game hunting works, but breaking the infant's leg seems a little redundant given what they're trying to accomplish. Roland points out that camping at the nest is a bad idea, as the Rexes would be able to smell them before they got a chance to down them, and so therefore they would have to move the infant out and set him downwind, using him as bait.
Yes, the ghillie suits against
Yes.
the
It'll make it seem like they're not moving.
Yes, my not moving cloak. Legendary object. This makes you look like you're not moving.
Obviously, Rexy Jr. is going to object to this, and is likely going to be calling out for mommy and daddy without the need of injuring it and reinforcing further that these are the bad guys. Also, I would dare say that such needless cruelty is an oddly uncharacteristic thing for Roland to do, given what we've seen of him so far.
True hunter doesn't mind if the animal wins.
I will concede to my opponent should it prove to be a kill I cannot achieve, but I'm sure as hell gonna break its baby's bones first. Well, surprise, surprise, what actually happened here is in a deleted scene. Remember when I said I was noticing a pattern here? Again, we can debate on what's canon and what isn't all day, but I'm going to detail this for the sake of completion, and it's also what makes the most sense. As we see in the script, at least one of the 9 different drafts that are out there, the baby's leg was actually broken by Ludlow after he trips and falls on it as Roland is setting up the trap.
With a sudden whoosh, another animal scampers through the underbrush right behind Ludlow. Scared, he spins around to get away from it, but he loses his balance, gets tangled up in his own feet, and steps right on top of the baby Rex's leg. The bone breaks with a dry snap, and the animal howls in pain. Roland lunges forward, shoves Ludlow out of the way, and bends over the injured animal. It howls in pain, its leg bent at an odd angle. Damn it, you've broken its leg! He reaches out and snatches the bottle of scotch away from him. Ludlow, angry and embarrassed, turns abruptly and stalks away, back towards the camp. Roland watches him go, disgusted.
And I do have to say, I've been perusing the script a little bit here, and it's pretty impressive. It's pretty impressive how much was actually just cut from this alone. From little pieces of dialogue to entire scenes of context. I don't know if this was cut because you guys were scared that it would make the movie too slow, but it's wild that so much was, and it still feels like we're crawling through this movie at the speed of a dying snail. It seems to me if the movie's going to be slow-paced like this anyway, you might as well keep the scenes in that are going to give the context for things going on. I would concede in the end that this cut doesn't really affect that much, especially when compared to some of the other more famous deleted scenes, but it's simply another bump I've stumbled upon that seems to be becoming a little more common than one would normally expect. left. And please don't get me wrong, I'm not dissing on the concept of a deleted scene here. I, of all people, have been pretty vocal about taking that old red pen to certain scripts. However, knowing what scenes should be cut and what scenes to keep in is obviously an important talent that seems to be rather lacking in the movie industry. I don't think very many people would disagree that we could have shaved off a little from the talking about our relationship problems scene a little bit earlier with Malcolm and Sarah.
What bothers you is that I'm not afraid of this place and you are.
No, bitch. That's not my problem. Is that I'm afraid of this place, you aren't, and it's a problem that you aren't.
Yeah.
You should be, and you're being stupid.
Or for that matter, we could have just cut Kelly entirely from the story. And that certainly could have freed up some space for some other stuff, but God forbid we have a Jurassic Park movie without an annoying child in it. Anyway, this next scene kind of drags a little and doesn't really introduce us to any new information we don't already have. But don't worry, I'm totally not going to just skip writing anything for it so I can get to the bits I want to talk about. I would never do that.
You don't bring people halfway around the world to visit a zoo. You bring the zoo to them. San Diego is the perfect set.
San Diego's a perfect spot for velociraptors.
Let's make California a shittier place.
That would improve it.
I feel like he should have made this pitch before he left. Made this pitch.
Well, no. That's the thing. He did, but it was in a different deleted scene, and so they had to put it somewhere else.
Oh my God!
They cut a lot from this movie.
It makes no sense for him to bring all of this, the model and everything, to
the
island, and then make a pitch that has the screen going fuzzy, so they're not seeing everything.
Software is already fully developed.
I wouldn't stick my finger in there.
Oh God, no.
Yeah. Well, look at the obvious Universal set there. That's a little immersion breaking.
Listen, this multi-million-dollar movie,
Yeah.
Oh, not Sarah.
Oh no, Sarah, how'd you get in there?
Like Sarah, be out here, and then they put her inside the cage.
Don't worry, Sarah, I'll get you out of there.
Yep.
Sarah's forcing around. Get out of there.
Shut up. Thank you for the exposition, sir.
Oh my God.
Exposition over.
Yeah.
Pretty standard.
Oh, where the explosions coming from?
Oh my God! It's like it's like a quiet place. Oh my God!
Oh my God! What the fuck? What?
What? The dinosaurs brought catapult.
What the fuck? Hell? What the fuck? Where did that come from?
Spielberg really likes
what? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Throw a fucking car at it. Do what I tell you, slave.
I can't believe you let the explosive dinosaurs escape.
Don't you know?
Don't you know how flammable these things are? In all seriousness, why the fuck was this explosion?
It's a dinosaur with a bomb strapped to its chest.
Well, there was fire.
Yeah.
So maybe under some very rare circumstance, a dinosaur knocked a truck onto the campfire.
So because there's fire, a triceratops breaks through and then an explosion.
Yeah, the explosion not only blew up the car, but it shot it straight up into the air and over to where those two were waiting for the
to the atmosphere.
Yeah.
And then it
It's like
came
someone
straight
put the
down.
car on it's like someone put the car on a trebuchet and launched it.
Yeah, that's what it looked like. I mean, that's probably what they did, Tom. And when they
dinosaurs are very clever.
Truck on it,
they're hyper intelligent.
Fired it off.
These are very intelligent dinosaurs.
So this asshole knew that these militant motherfuckers were coming to this island anyway, and he sent these like innocent people to go there before them?
Yes.
That's stupid.
Yeah. Man, yeah. It's like there's some like layers of evil to that, isn't there?
Yeah.
Yeah. So Nick's the bad guy. We'll just get that out of the way. Once again, PETA has out-eviled the evil corporation, and also he's apparently aware that Roland is hunting a Tyrannosaur because he has to go mess that up too. So, completely out of curiosity, you had to guess, what would you assume I think of the saving the baby Tyrannosaur plan? What would you think I have to say about it? You know, other than me aggressively heaping detailed and descriptive praise onto Nick Van Owen's powerhouse intellect like I'm shoveling coal into a dying furnace. What can really be said about it in the end? Truth be told, I don't think there's a single one among any of us that could come up with any downsides to it.
What? 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 No.
Out of your mind?
Yeah.
Do you have any idea what that is?
Yeah. Listen to the woman. Yeah.
What the hell is that?
And he's immediately stepped on by a T-Rex that's following them.
Chasing.
It's wild to think that while Ian Malcolm and Sarah Harding are so intensely opposite in their belief system of how this island works, Owen has somehow managed to defy both of them.
Man, Ian's not gonna like this.
No, Sarah, Ian is going to be horrified about this. The baby Stegosaurus was you getting burned a little by a match compared to what is currently barreling through the jungle towards you.
That's retarded.
He's not gonna like it because it's a stupid thing to do.
I completely forgot that they did that retard shit.
Yeah. PETA making everything worse once again.
Oh.
PETA.
We're the good guys, though.
We're not alone on this island.
The bad guys are mad.
Yeah, he angrily threw the lock instead of angrily throwing the idol from the beginning of Raiders.
Yes.
Steven Spielberg, isn't that original?
Remember earlier today where you were saying that you had to use dirt to put out the fire because the billowing smoke from the water might attract something? Tell me, Sarah, do you think the injured, screaming baby T-Rex is going to attract anything? And Mr. and Mrs. Rex aren't the only things you need to worry about, keep in mind. There's other stuff in this place that wants to kill you too. Do you suppose any of the other predators that live on this island might be attracted to the sound of a wounded infant? But no, of course not. We have to save it, it's adorable. Look at it trying to kill Nick here as he tries wrapping his belt around its snout. He knows we're trying to help him, Malcolm. Isn't it cute? Look at that. He has his own little charging cable to keep him warm at night. We can't let this thing die, Ian.
What the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? It's going to eat us.
When an animal's hurt and scared, there's nothing to worry about.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Vince,
Especially one with razor sharp teeth and a powerful jaw.
Yeah.
You don't even have.
Maybe
he's like Chomper
Chomper
from The Land Before Time.
Maybe he recognizes that they're going to help him.
Put your neck really close to its mouth.
Vince won't come in like, look at this weird dog I found.
Can I keep it, Mom?
Like, it's like the size of a chimp, and a chimp could literally rip his arms off.
Remember, though, Isaiah, she's worked with African predators. She knows what she's doing.
Yeah, my bad. I forgot.
Honey, we're interfering. Like, imagine if that thing kicked her. Like it would immediately
it would
kill
disembowel her. Well,
Yes.
it would disembowel her.
So what do they think they're gonna do once they have it better? Do they think they're just gonna take it back?
Oh, they're just gonna let it go. And it'll be fine. It'll go find its mommy and daddy, and it'll be happy.
Yeah.
And it'll say, "Thank you, humans.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you, humans, for healing me with your great knowledge. Thank you. We love you." Our savior, the illumined man.
However, this is now the point where I have to stop being on Malcolm's side about stuff, because for whatever reason, he doesn't really react to what his girlfriend brings into the so-called safe area of base camp.
Stand up, okay? Careful, watch his head. No. Careful.
Watch his head. No, honey, watch his head.
Wow, Malcolm, you are remarkably calm considering what that is. Especially considering your girlfriend's track record of interacting with baby dinosaurs. I would say that anything short of stroking out on the floor would be a little bit of an underreaction.
There you
You're okay.
Hit her with a stick? No, don't get close, honey. Don't get...
And right there, that's pretty much all we get in protest from him. Then it's back to the radio so he can argue with the woman who can't understand what he's saying. Yeah, that's what he's been doing this whole time, by the way. You know, since they're on Dinosaur Death Island, the primary goal is to leave. But he found that the radio was set to the wrong frequency, so he proceeded to continue using the wrong frequency so he could argue with some rando who obviously doesn't have anything to do with the people who are waiting to come back to get him. And upon Sarah and Nick bringing the spotlight of death into the RV, Malcolm grumbles in annoyance about it before going back to the radio. Thankfully, Kelly had a brief moment of clarity wherein she realized that the Grim Reaper is happily skipping his way through the jungle towards them.
I want to be somewhere safe. Come on.
Isn't it safe here, honey?
I'm sorry, Malcolm. What the hell did you just say to her?
Isn't it safe here, honey?
Oh. Okay, so Malcolm's compromised. Good to know. Isn't it safe here while the enemy soldier is sitting in the RV, obviously radioing for backup in front of them? Maybe the dude did have a stroke when Sarah brought that thing on board because, man, oh man, what a flippin' attitude towards their situation.
No, I want to be somewhere high.
Oh, well, how lucky for you, Kelly. It just so happens that that's a prop we introduced earlier in the movie. Kind of a strange request, considering you could have just said, get me the hell off this RV, holy crap, we're all gonna die. But I suppose it saves the now mentally stunted Ian Malcolm from remembering what Eddie has spent the last part of this movie setting up. So Malcolm finally concedes with, okay, Kelly, I don't know what you're freaking out about, but I guess we can go somewhere else. And takes her up to the high hide with Eddie.
What is it? What? What's going on? What's going on?
Oh, the moron brought a T-Rex baby into home base.
Yeah, we're all gonna die.
Yeah.
Yeah, pray. Cool. Just raising up the piñata.
The high hide, to be featured in this section of the movie only, and then never again going forward, despite the fact that we even had a scene dedicated to Eddie introducing it. And of course, the flow of the story is what actually renders the device useless. The whole point of the high hide is so our little team of geniuses here can watch the dinosaurs from afar without actually interacting with them or putting themselves in danger from them. And needless to say, as the movie progresses, the concept of studying the dinosaurs becomes a bit of an obsolete one pretty quickly. But given its irrelevancy to the bigger picture, why was so much emphasis put onto it? Surely it's not just so Kelly can be quietly ushered aside for the upcoming T-Rex scene. And honestly, even if it was, that's kind of lame, because the franchise hasn't shied away from putting kids in danger in the past. No, the real reason the high hide exists is merely because it was a thing in the book, and it's a thing that has quite a bit of relevancy in the book. However, due to the complete alteration of the story, it now doesn't. However, it's still kept within the story as if it's going to. And some might say I'm being a little harsh with the book to movie adaptation comparison here, but once again in this case, I do think it's worth bringing up. To clarify, this isn't an instance where I'm saying this is bad because the book did it this way. This is an instance where I'm saying that an element was taken from the book and put into the movie for no other reason than it was in the book. The narrative purpose of this thing is completely ignored for the sake of merely including it just 'cause, and that sort of nonsense don't sit well with me. In the novel, one of the more major sections of the story involved the characters hiding from a pack of velociraptors in the high hide, and it culminates with them eventually getting up there and taking the whole structure down. And in the novel, the hide includes a cage that is entirely closed off, which in turn leads to a scene where one of the kids in the story is trapped inside on the ground while the pack is trying to get into it. I'm not necessarily saying this should have been in the movie. I mean, it probably should have, because it sure as hell would have been a lot more interesting than what's happening right now. But it was a plot point in the story that was led up to by the presence of this thing. And that lead is still present in the movie, but it's followed by nothing. And not only that, it is abandoned after the halfway mark of the film. Its presence is merely a conduit for keeping Eddie and Kelly out of the upcoming RV scene so their respective roles can be filled later. And that's just odd. And just so we can keep up with the theme here, it turns out they did have larger plans for this thing beyond the final cuts. Okay, we're up here, look at us. Whoop, now we're back down. Wasn't that fun, folks? I found a few different variations of what they wanted to do, but one of the more well-known ones involves the hunters having having their own hide that was attacked by the parent tyrannosaurs shortly before they attacked the RV. I don't know if this bit was filmed in any capacity before it was cut, but it apparently survived fairly far into the production as the scene was featured on some of the marketing material prior to the film's release. But like many other things from this movie's production, it failed to make it to the completed version, once again leaving behind faint trails of what could have been. An interesting case, because despite all of this, precious runtime is still being dedicated to Eddie's monologue to introduce the thing. We could have cut this and freed up almost 30 seconds worth of movie for something that actually is important to the plot. And cutting it would have done what exactly? Oh, we don't immediately know what the hide is? This thing that serves basically no purpose to the story? What a tragedy of a loss that would have been. It's not like audience members would watch this and say, oh, what's Eddie setting up here? Oh, it's a treehouse thing, cool. And thus absolutely nothing is lost from the narrative. Anyway, here you go, Callie, you little weirdo. Don't know why you would possibly want up here.
Oh, yeah.
Of course, Sarah doesn't feel the need to answer the phone right now after all of that. I mean, what could possibly be going on that's important now of all times? Look, everyone, funny ha-ha scene of Nick misunderstanding what she meant when asking for his gum. Genius move on that too, by the way.
Damn it, I need another adhesive, something pliable that I can...
I wonder why hospitals don't use chewed bubble gum for adhesive on their bandages. Seems like the obvious move, really. That splint is going to stay on that animal for a whole 10 minutes before falling off. And thankfully, we'll get the most out of that 10 minutes too, because as we know, animals aren't known for trying to remove foreign objects from themselves, especially over parts of themselves that are injured. Yep. This thing's gonna be just fine. Our deaths are gonna serve a good purpose, Owen, let me tell ya. Hey, Sarah, should I answer that phone and see what Malcolm could possibly be calling us about? Nah, I doubt it's anything important. But thus, we have arrived to one of the more famous scenes of the movie, the all too well-known RV cliff scene. And yeah, it's still probably one of the better bits of the movie. At least at first, I suppose. It starts getting silly real quick once the T-Rexes start attacking the thing. And perhaps this is a little bit of my own personal bias leaking in here, because in the end, I do quite enjoy this bit. Of course, it's all ruined once the characters start talking, but what can you do?
Yeah, probably don't move. Remember that was a thing in like the first one? Like if you don't move, it won't see you.
Nah, it's fine.
Let's joke around like idiots.
Have you kind folks seen a tiny T-Rex about yay high? It's got a bum leg. I've been looking everywhere for him. I've been worried sick.
We told him to stay home, but he apparently didn't listen.
I'm sorry for my wife over there. Her roars can be pretty scary to just some local folk, but...
Mommy, they stuck their gum on me.
Hey, honey, you did this.
Yeah, I just want to remind you yet again, this is your fault. You've done this to us.
How can they see the RV? It's not moving.
They can see the movement in the RV, I guess.
No, it's not. It's not in park. So.
Well, the thing is, it's like if they can only see movement, like what stops them from running into trees?
It doesn't. Didn't you see the trees rustling?
They can
when they were
see
coming
the
closer? They ran into
trees
everyone.
growing, Jake.
No, Will. Didn't you see them? Like when the trees were rustling, they ran into every single one on the way here. That's how they knew they were coming.
Oh my god! Like,
That's
I
true.
don't know. I don't
That's
know.
true.
That's like I'm sorry. Out of all the Jurassic, like, it's not even necessarily an inaccuracy thing. That's just like a plot thing. Where you're like, if they can only see movement, then how do they like not run into things all the time?
Well, you see, Jacob, the planet is always spinning, so everything is always moving.
Like remember in the first movie they have like the randomly spawning cliff off of the T-Rex paddock. How come the T-Rex doesn't just randomly walk off of the cliff accidentally if it can only see movement?
It does. It's actually the 15th T-Rex.
No. Don't you see? Understand, Will? It sees the oxygen moving in the space.
That's true. That's fair. Yeah.
This isn't hunting behavior, Ian. Not hunting. They're searching. They came for their infants.
Yeah, no shit. They found their
Yeah.
kid. What do you think they're going to eat it?
Well,
I mean, some of them probably did, but
That's what Jeff came in here to tell you. She's saying it like
Yeah.
she's taking credit for discovering this.
Yeah. Jesus, they're just like, yes, that's my son. Thank you.
There you go.
We'll be going now.
Oh. Yeah, we found our kid and we got something to eat.
And dinner.
But anyway, let me walk you through the mindset of these T-Rexes with their following actions. Upon retrieving Rexy Jr., the two parents peacefully lead him back into the woods and basically tell him to wait there. After this, they go back to the weird rectangular thing that they found him in and proceed to start attacking it.
I like that they waited.
Yeah,
the T-Rexes went and talked to each other and sorted out how they're going to deal with it.
They're pushing us over the cliff.
How would they know to do that?
How would they know to do that?
Oh, they're hyper intelligent. Well,
Oh yeah, that's true. That's fair.
Spare no expense.
Spared no expense.
Why would they do that? Malicious T-Rexes.
You're right.
Hang on to something! Hang on to something!
Oh yes, repeat it.
Sarah,
that guy's
Sarah, are
just
you holding on to
copying
something?
the other guy.
like,
I was waiting for Sarah to say it.
Yeah.
The T-Rex yells, "Hold on to something!"
Why would you hold on to that?
I love this part.
Yeah.
How?
Why would that be there? Just out of curiosity, why would you
Oh.
have a solid piece of glass?
So that you
Why
can see in
wouldn't you?
between the trailer and the truck. It's really cool.
I just wanted to scream,
Yeah.
Sarah, hold on to something.
Wait, guys, hang on. What did that glass? We like lied to us, the audience, then?
I have the same question.
It was like so we saw like the bottom flip up, and you were like, "Oh my god, they're suspended over as she falls." Oh, there's just glass here for right.
Yeah. Like the entire back of the RV is a window. They just put a piece of metal over it.
Yeah, like what?
Yeah.
What? Why?
No, go. Stop. You're making more pressure. You're making more pressure points. Don't move. Why not?
I'm gonna come down there and put my weight on it.
Now, Sarah, what you're going to want to do is focus all of your weight onto one specific area of the glass. There you go. Good job.
Hooray.
There you go. Yeah. Do some push-ups.
You did it. Thank you, Vince Vaughn.
Oh yes, the satellite phone.
It doesn't work, but get it anyway.
It's not 11:17. The phones don't work right now.
But what about the cameras?
Reach, Vince. Reach.
Oh no!
Why is it sliding?
Because Steven Spielberg ticking clock stereotype.
You could just end the sentence there because Steven Spielberg.
Yeah, because Steven Spielberg.
Because Steven Spielberg, Tom. It's like, oh, okay.
Ooh, tension. Grab her by the hair.
Hands up!
They're all dead.
That was strong enough to fully break the glass.
I love that they both caught the bag as it broke the fucking glass. Like, what are the odds that both people catch the bag as it fucking breaks the glass?
Yeah. What did this? Like, what do you think did this?
I like he goes, what did this? And he says, Kelly, what did you do with Kelly? He's just like, Kelly did this.
I fed her to the Tyrannosaurus.
Typical woman driver, am I right? Sally did this, didn't she? Her stupid driving.
Sarah,
It was probably her that almost hit me earlier, stupid bitch. And now she's taking the fucking camper RVs off a cliff. Somebody take the keys away.
Yeah, I'm sure that's gonna help it. Like the smaller car.
I mean, like it's better than nothing.
I don't know. You're gonna lose the car as well.
Yeah, that's it. Like that mud, like that car ain't stopping that thing.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. I'm like, I get the logic in a way, but it wouldn't work.
I mean, fair.
No.
But,
It's one of those things where it's not even like a plot hole. I get why somebody might try it, but at the same time, you're like, if you had time to think, you'd be like, this wouldn't work. Okay?
Yeah. No, the tree, but the car. Like, what is?
His car is holding on to nothing.
Yeah, his car.
Yeah, he has the
car.
handbrake on.
Yeah. That wouldn't be stopping it at all.
It would definitely pull that.
It's so slippery. I can't.
Yeah,
I can't.
That car is
That
totally
car
gonna
is
hold
not
that.
holding that.
Yeah.
That car is not holding
No. Well,
that.
he's gonna put it in reverse on the wet mud. It's fine.
It's a neutral.
It's got really good tread. They just got new tires on it. Well.
Is he gonna get in and press the brakes harder to make it brake more? Please tell me he is. Oh, he's gonna go in reverse. That'll do it. That just won't make you go zoo forward. Just completely eliminating any traction it might have had.
Right.
Yeah, sure. Man, this is a Mercedes commercial.
Yep, in reverse.
This better have some mega. This better have. Yeah, there you go. This better have some.
That'll work.
This car better
Don't
have
put
some
it in
mega
first
throttle.
gear. Just fucking floor it as hard as you can.
Has this ever happened to you?
Chris Pratt would have been able to just pull it up.
Oh, Chris Pratt would have been
Well,
done already.
Well, where's that guy that fucking pulled the dinosaur down with a fucking lasso? You just need him, and he pulls that fucking RV up, no problem.
Yeah.
Guys, I give up.
Oh, is the T-Rex? Are they gonna grab the car and pull it and help?
We heard you're having car trouble. All right, now we're gonna
got him.
break
I
your
rescued
leg.
him. I rescued him. No. Why you
it's
grabbing
so
him? I
romantic,
got him.
guys.
Right.
All right, here comes the big explosion.
Yeah. Wait, the tire.
Oh my
God.
Holy shit!
His tire.
It was like a fucking hydrogen bomb
tire.
went off.
Oh, that looks so bad. That looks so bad.
It looked like that shitty like
looks
3D stuff
awful.
that they would do in movie trailers. Back
Yeah,
in the day.
it looks like Final Destination.
Why did that happen?
Because it fell.
Okay. Silly.
Gravity plus car equals
There was
boom.
gas leaking.
Oh my god, that special effect looked awful.
This movie is like way worse than I remember it.
Same, yeah. I used to prefer this one over the first one when I was a kid for some reason.
I never liked this movie, but it's still worse than I remember it. Where's the T-Rex now?
Nah, they left.
They left.
They're
yeah.
done.
Why? God, I fucking it. This movie sucks.
Interestingly, this acts as a very noticeable and more than likely deliberate center marker of the film. We're a little over halfway through the movie, and incidentally, we are now going to switch gears into what is arguably the more insane portion of the film. Not necessarily the story itself, but more so the events surrounding it. As realistically, this is kind of the point where I can say the real meat of the story officially kicks off. Standing as a true testament of how slow of a movie Lost World is, the film took over half its runtime to get us to the real main conflict. Because all that stuff previously of the dinosaurs being captured, the dinosaurs being studied, the overarching hunter-gatherer theme, all of that was just the setup. The early Act 2 stuff, which is basically the narrative equivalent of Ellie and Grant marveling at the sauropods at the beginning of the first film. It's interesting to note as well that if you were to play the two movies side by side, the RV scene plays out at almost the exact same time as the first film's T-Rex scene. I say this for the sake of an overarching point I'll get to shortly here, and also because I might as well try and be fair to this movie. I don't know if this was intentional or not, and in most other cases I would likely write it off as a coincidence and not even mention it, but given how I know how much Hollywood directors love their stupid symbolism, paired with the fact that so much was cut from the film up to this point, it wouldn't surprise me if this was done on purpose, whether it be for allegorical reasons or an attempt to replicate the first movie's appeal by pacing it out the same way. Assuming it's the case, the problem with that plan is mainly the fact that Jurassic Park's opening hour served as an introduction to the film's science and world building. Since Michael Crichton was a gigantic nerd, he would spend long sections of his book detailing how the genetic science of the story worked. And when I say he went into detail, He went into detail. There was an entire chapter dedicated to Malcolm explaining how chaos theory worked. There was an entire other chapter dedicated to the functionality of motion sensors. Crichton was a dude who liked explaining stuff, and obviously a great portion of these explanations were adapted into an abridged variation for the film. And again, I say all this loosely because there can only be speculation regarding the editing choices of Lost World, so I won't really go into any comparisons that could be made between the two movies and their pacing, but I will say that maintaining a good balance between what's needed for your film and what's fun for your film is an important one. You gotta eat your vegetables before you eat your dessert, and obviously the explanation of how InGen was cloning dinosaurs was necessary given the story they were telling. Sure, you could say it's something that slows the movie down, but if you're actually invested in the story that you're watching, it's going to be information you're interested in hearing. Lost World doesn't really have anything like that, because all of the things that need to be established have already been done. All we need is the bit going over Isla Sorna and whatever excuses they came up with to divert attention away from the sequel proofing that was laid out beforehand. And in that freedom from needing to explain things comes an opportunity for a little more dessert. I would argue we could have tightened up the first section of the movie quite significantly. Get some scenes cut out, add others back in, get us to this point quicker than you did last time, and make some room for a richer second portion.
Just fed. I assume you're talking about Eddie. You might show a little respect. The man saved our lives by giving his.
This is one of the many examples I could point to for this. This is a very long and awkwardly delivered line. It's not Jeff Goldblum's fault. He's just saying what the script said. There's not a lot of ways you could make this sound natural unless you cut it down a little bit. He saved our life by giving his, as he holds his hands to the sky in Shakespearean despair. You could have cut that last part off and had him just say, he saved our life. Just by doing that, we've made this scene just that little bit tighter. Just that little bit more concise and certainly a little more natural sounding. I'm assuming you're talking about Eddie. You might show a little respect. The man saved our lives. A little bit of trimming. It goes a long way. It doesn't seem like it would, but it does add up, and it allows for more time to be given to other sections, whether it be to allow certain scenes to breathe more or to facilitate a scene that would have otherwise been left in the discard bin. As it stands, the second portion of the movie really only consists of a couple main set pieces and whatever the hell the movie's ending was supposed to be. We'll get to it, don't worry about that. But in addition to all of this, I would argue that while Jurassic Park's opening half built very well into the events of the second half, Lost Worlds was meandering and seemingly unrelated to the storyline events of its second half. As an example, the conversation at the restaurant has noticeable ripples throughout the first film, and things that are spoken about in it are returned to at several instances. I'll get into it a little bit later, but the Velociraptors are also very well built up in the beginning, setting the stage for their attacks during the movie's climax. If you take the critical eye to it and really dig into the meat of that script, you will find the strings and proverbial pathways that tie the movie all together into a nice little package. However, Lost World doesn't really have anything like that. The entire movie up to this point has been about something else, and it's nothing that leads to anything significant later on. Aside from the ending, sure, but I'm not talking about that yet. That's pages of script all on its own. It deserves its own section. As I've said before, studying the dinosaurs is immediately rendered obsolete for the rest of the film, as is the conflict of the opposing faction trying to capture them. I know you'll be absolutely shocked to hear this, but it does turn out that one of the things the movie was going to have in that department was eventually cut. Turns out Lost World was going to have an overarching parenting theme, and Jeff Goldblum was going to learn to be a better dad because he saw dinosaurs being good parents. Now, right off the bat, let's not be making any misinterpretations of my words here. I'm not saying that was a good idea to put in. It's quite stupid, in fact, and if anything, I would only advocate for its inclusion merely because it would have facilitated a lot of really funny jokes during my watch parties. But there was originally going to be a bit where the whole "you're not a good father" scene was going to culminate in Malcolm spontaneously becoming a good father because he watched a bunch of dinosaurs aggressively trying to defend their own young from his group. Like I said, far from the worst thing they cut from the film, but man, at least if they did have that, there would have been a slightly more cohesive path of progression through this thing. Pretty much where we're sitting right now is that both groups have been thoroughly crippled and now have no means of leaving the island. So now they've been forced to team up with one another in order to come up with a new way out. Ironically so, given the fact that Nick Van Owen is the entire reason that the Hunters' communication systems were destroyed, effectively leaving them for dead, be it intentional or not. We'll put a pin in that for now. Just know I'm not quite done talking about this dude. Overall, I would say that that's the most noticeable difference when it comes to comparisons between the first and second Jurassic movies. While the pacing is technically the same, it serves a much greater overall purpose in the first film, explaining and setting up concepts and the like for later on. Lost World kind of just feels like it's drunkenly rambling to you about stuff that doesn't really relate to its overall point. I mean, aside from the gymnastics line earlier on. I wonder if that'll have a clever tie-in. I sure hope so. But to get back on track, Ludlow thankfully is aware of a communication station near the center of the island that can still be utilized. Despite my initial misunderstanding on it, Hammond ran his facilities on geothermal power, meaning they can all still be used. I don't know how this would work, especially given the age of the equipment and the amount of time it was left exposed to the elements, but since I missed this line the first time around, my impression was that Hammond just kept paying the power bill for this place. Which in my opinion would have been a hell of a lot funnier given InGen's financial state at this point. But I'll concede, fair play to you, Lost World. I can't actually make fun of you for that, even for as much as I want to. I'm still a bit dubious on the flipping the on switch makes everything work just fine bit, but you're already struggling pretty hard with the pacing, so I can forgive a smudge or two in the logic. I don't know, maybe if I was an electrician, I'd be a little bit less forgiving about it. But now we have that little goalpost to move towards, and since this is a dialogue scene, we can take a moment for Sarah and Burke to have a Crichton-style nerd-off with each other.
By moving the baby Rex into our camp, we may have changed the adult perceived territory.
They're what? That's why they persisted in destroying the trailers. They now feel they have to defend this entire area.
Well, that's why they kept leaving and coming back. It's because they think this is territory, yeah.
But that...
No.
Yeah, but that's like in real life.
makes
So
sense.
if someone breaks into my house, I leave for a bit, and then come back later.
Yeah.
That's how that works, right? I'm like, you broke into my house, you fuck. I'm gonna go to the cafe and be back in an hour.
Punch him in the face, and then you leave, and then you come back, and you punch him in the face again.
And then leave, yeah.
Yeah.
And the Rexes may continue to track us too if they perceive a threat to themselves or to their infant.
No, you're wrong there, Dr. Harding. We'll lose them once we leave their territory.
No, don't bet on it. Tyrannosaurus got the largest proportional olfactory cavity of any creature in the fossil record with the exception of one.
Right, turkey vulture. Could scent up to 10 miles.
It was a very authentic experience. I could feel myself instinctively reaching for the speed controls on Audible. Remember, Sarah says this, by the way. I don't know. I have this really weird feeling it'll become relevant again later. But one problem does stand in the way of the group making their way to this station. Namely, the fact that this is in the center of the island, where Hammond originally stated was where most of the mean, not plant-eating dinosaurs live. I guess we're amending that statement to mean primarily velociraptors. Apparently, their evil headquarters is located in the island center, and going to this village means moving through their territory.
Oh my god, the fast raptors.
Asaurus.
Adon. The faster raptor Adon.
Yep.
You know, there's actually like very little, if scarce, evidence that velociraptors or raptors in general actually hunted in packs. It's actually kind of funny.
I refuse to believe that on the basis that I don't like it.
You know, I don't like it either, but there's not much evidence of it.
And needless to say, that's going to be a problem, since this was back before Universal was trying to attribute cuteness to them. But with no other choice at hand, the group all agrees to this being the plan of action and starts moving. And unlike PETA here, Roland and his group actually realize how insanely dangerous everything on this island is, and as such are equipped with multiple firearms, meaning that in theory, they should be able to defend their lives from them. A wild concept for a Jurassic movie, I know. Just so long as nothing gets in the way of that, this should be a fairly uneventful stroll through the park. In that same vein, I want to bring up this conversation between Roland and Owen. I don't really have much to say about it other than showcasing how well written Roland is and how well his actor portrayed him. Good writing and a good actor. It's a combo that always works wonders when you bring them together. Obviously on their own, there's still praise to be had, but I find it a bit more on the depressing side, especially when you only have the good actor.
Somewhere on this island is the greatest predator that ever lived. Second greatest predator must take him down.
It isn't even a sentiment that I agree with. I've always been slightly inclined to a negative opinion of big game or sport hunting, so if we're going by personal standards alone, I would technically be more on Owen's side. But with that said, I can't help but find myself liking Roland while alternatively despising Owen. Needless to say, this likely isn't least because Owen is portrayed as bratty and immature with an idealistic and rose-tinted outlook on the world, while Roland portrays a much more stoic and wise persona. He understands the intricacies of the predator and prey dynamic and chose to place himself carefully within the system, while Owen strikes me as someone who has a massive ideological conflict whenever he sees a cheetah taking a gazelle down. Ultimately decides to turn off the Animal Planet documentary because of it.
Remember that chap about 20 years ago, I forget his name, climbed Everest without any oxygen, came down nearly dead. When they asked him, they said, why did you go up there to die? He said, I didn't. I went up there to live.
Yeah, no, this is objectively the best character in the entire franchise.
You feel like this guy has way more acting capability than this movie deserves to have.
Yeah, he's pretty good. He's pretty good.
Meanwhile, the scene following that is Malcolm telling Ludlow, you shouldn't take dinosaurs to San Diego. I'm gonna say I told you so later. Wild how abruptly the quality whips around in this movie. Oh man, Jeff Goldblum's gonna be smug at him later. What a surprise.
Jeff Goldblum's
See, I
always
told you were going to pay for that. Now you're dying.
I told you.
Well, you see, like you're getting eaten alive right now because I told you earlier. I told you earlier it's a bad idea.
And I said I was going to be there. I did.
Dinosaurs are very vicious creatures, and I told you so. Yes. He just does that while they're getting eaten alive by velociraptors. The velociraptor's like chewing on him, and he's like,
As the group is going on through the forest, Roland eventually notices blood being left behind on a fern that Sarah brushes past. He calls for a short break before going over to see if she's injured.
Oh no, it's from your baby. I said it's broken leg. It's not drying in the humidity.
What the fuck? Remember, everyone.
African predators.
It's so fucking stupid. She fucking studied African predators, right? And she's walking around with the fucking blood of the baby all over her jacket. She just said, "Yeah, it won't dry because of the humidity."
It's fine.
Are you fucking stupid? Why don't you just drag it on the ground with you?
Also, how's that for a bit of a quick callback? The very last thing Sarah said in this film was, "Tyrannosaurs have good noses, guys. They might try and track us." As she's standing there coated in the most identifiable organic scent on the planet. Couldn't have even bothered to splash a handful of water on it. Yeah, I don't know. It must not be drying out because of the humidity. She might as well be blowing an air horn as she walks through the forest. It's predator blood. They don't like predator blood.
And Dan,
they definitely wouldn't be able to track that smell. No creatures there would be able to detect that blood and think, I wonder if that's a free meal.
Impossible.
Look, you said it yourself. You said it yourself earlier. Like, look at all the dirt around them. They smell the dirt.
That's true. Yeah,
that's true.
The dirt overpowers the smell of blood.
Surprising that these dinosaurs find anything, honestly. But apparently, nobody actually thinks that this is a problem, because it isn't actually brought up again by anyone. And because of that, we can transition quite nicely into the untimely demise of Dr. Hill. Ah! Jump scare dinosaur. Bang, 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 bang.
It's only a small one.
Shotgun again.
But now I'm going to get my comeuppance because a big one's going to jump scare me now.
Yeah.
Well, something like
Could you imagine a bigger version of that one?
And he keeps walking away.
Not polite to sneak up on people.
No, don't be. Can you not be a cartoon character for 5 minutes?
He's a bully and a coward.
I want to taser these tiny little dinosaurs because I'm evil.
Well, his name's actually Taserface, so
He just really likes tasing dinosaurs.
Yeah, he does.
It's my thing.
I brought a cattle prod to a dinosaur island.
Josh, where are you, Josh? Where are you,
Maybe
Josh?
you shouldn't have walked off.
Josh, why'd you do it?
But there are other people close to Carter.
Why
and they
did you
can't
hurt
hear.
them, Josh?
You're a
Because it's
psychopath.
Alan
Josh
Carter.
is listening to his
Sammy, that's
Walkman.
why.
You're a sick psychopath, Josh. I'm gonna tase you, Josh.
I'm gonna tase you, Josh.
So
I'm gonna
instead of
tase you,
like,
Josh, with my taser.
Oh no!
Like Andy
Say hello
Samberg.
to my little friends.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Like Andy
oh my god,
Samberg.
the little
tumbling.
Shammy dragons.
Ah.
Justice.
Stand up and fall, and you'll crush a ton of them.
Yeah. Stop, drop,
Stand
and
up
roll.
as you're grabbing those off of you, start stomping. They'll get the idea. Look, yeah, you don't have to, like, yeah,
This is
just
hard.
pull its head off.
They're chickens.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
They're actually chickens.
Getting your ass kicked by a bunch of
Yes,
chickens.
he's getting murdered by chickens. Like the non-GMO chickens.
I would like to point out that I have dealt with a similar situation that Dr. Hill is dealing with here, in that I have had roosters try to murder me in the past. Needless to say, they were unsuccessful, and this was in spite of the fact that I could not in turn murder them in retaliation. Dr. Hill does not have this same merciful obligation that I did, and to my knowledge, the compies are not venomous like they are in the books, meaning that he is literally just dealing with a bunch of slightly more coordinated chickens. I'm not sure this point can be hammered in hard enough. This is the most non-threatening animal on this island. The goat from Jurassic Park had a better chance of killing someone, because in the right circumstances, it's technically possible it could headbutt you off of one of the spontaneously appearing cliffs that Isla Nublar has. Like, this is what they had to send to the little girl at the beginning of the film, because literally any other dinosaur would have just insta-killed her. This is something you need to keep in mind while you're watching all of this unfold, in that Dr. Hill is being murdered by the things that have only really posed a threat to little girls in this franchise.
Of stuff they could cut. They could have trimmed this scene down.
No, this is all very important, Shammy.
No, they could have trimmed this scene down.
Yeah.
Where's my
Vengeance!
taser?
like you
Get him,
can't
guys.
handle this.
Get him good.
You can't handle this,
Come
Mr.
on.
Psychiatrist. Dude.
Look.
Like
A little girl in the intro survived. You can survive this, surely.
No.
There's too many.
Oh, ow. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that.
Yeah, fuck you guys, I'm going home.
It is like the equivalent of like I couldn't overpower this guinea pig, isn't it?
Please tell me this isn't how this bitch ass motherfucker dies. Because if this is how he dies,
he talks all this shit,
losing to a bunch of chickens.
yeah,
like you could just grab them and break them,
stomp on
like,
them.
with your hand.
Yeah, stomp on them like bugs. This dude could just grab each one as it's jumping on him and individually snap each of their necks. He could grab a single stick and murder 3 of them with one swing. He could just go get his gun back, and then he could defend himself from all of the velociraptors that are in the bushes laughing at him right now.
God, you suck. Like, spend some time looking for your rifle while you're kicking at these things instead of running away like a retard.
Yeah, right.
And falling down and taking 8 years to stand up. Dude, you're fucking dumb as shit.
Earn death by chicken. Yeah.
What are you staring at?
We're back.
What are you looking at, pussy?
Look, they're all on your back. Roll over and drown them.
And back.
The way he looked at him like, who are you?
Then when you're too weak back, there's
Get
gonna
him.
too weak to fight back. There's gonna pick at
You
you.
hear Shammy? Shammy's like, get him! My people, get him!
What drop and roll? If you just roll on the ground once and you'll squish like
Grab
flies.
Yeah.
Just stop, drop,
grab a
and
piece of
roll
wood
out
and
like
just
you're
start
on
smacking
fucking
them.
fire.
This dude is.
You don't even need a weapon.
It's so
You
pathetic.
don't need.
Like, I'm sorry, but there's a point where size does matter.
Literally
That's what
break
you said.
off one of the pieces of the wood and use it as a bat or something.
This is like the equivalent of you getting suplexed by a flea, you know?
Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh my god. These things are not hard to fight off at all.
No.
There's a stick right. There's a bunch of these sticks everywhere.
Yeah.
Dude, you got 2 sticks on your that are attached to your lower torso. He didn't kill one of those. They got a flawless victory. Embarrassing.
You don't even need a melee.
He just needs to do this.
Grab it, and you just grab it, like grab its neck, and just like throw it on the ground, and it dies.
That's what I put in the management
you don't
chat.
know, Tom. Tom, tell me, have you ever killed a chicken? Have you ever like tried to break a chicken's neck?
I've seen a chicken get killed.
Well, have you personally broken and like choked the
seen
chicken
it,
personally,
Dan.
per se, right?
I can't say that I have. Dan.
Like
It's
Dan,
a lot of work.
Dan, I don't think it'd be that difficult to snap a chicken's neck, all things considered.
You say that.
I do.
Is this supposed to be like a white guy with like darker?
You guys
makeup?
are like the biggest dorks who think that you like can like break
No,
a
this is supposed
little
to be
dinosaur's neck.
funny.
I don't think anyone here could.
Dan, that dinosaur.
I know.
That particular. No, listen, Dan. That particular dinosaur. Yes, I could break its neck.
No, you couldn't.
Yes, I
Impossible.
could. Impossible.
But anyway, there we have that. Dr. Hill's dead now, graced with one of the most pathetic deaths in the entire Jurassic Park franchise, all facilitated because Carter here wears headphones and doesn't see any problems with rendering one of his 5 senses inactive on Dinosaur Death Island.
Playing blasting mariachi music.
Right.
Christ. Not a care in the world, surrounded by predators.
Like he doesn't even know where he is. Doesn't know that there are dinosaurs here. And also, I guess Carter is the only person in that giant group of people that was capable of hearing him anyway. Soundwave just kind of stopped at him, I guess. Everyone was like exactly far enough away to the point where they were out of earshot. Quite an unfortunate turn of events, I have to say.
I can't imagine much worse.
I can't imagine dying
He
like
went
that.
down like a
because
little girl.
He did. It's like, oh,
actually.
You can even just use 2 hands for each one.
Oh, but there's so many.
Bite a head off.
Take one and use it by the neck to beat the rest of
And
them.
then you would still only get a couple of whacks because of how weak they are.
Yeah, and eventually the thing will just
And
break.
you have to move on to the next.
And then you grab another one, which takes one off of you. Beat. Another one. Beat.
Dual wielding.
Yeah, dual wielding. Fucking.
Don't get the idea.
Yeah, you could have chicken nunchucks.
Yeah, hang on. Will, pause the film. I'm gonna go get a chicken.
Okay.
I'm gonna go break into a farm.
No, for real.
I got some if you want one.
They're pretty tough. A chicken's pretty tough.
That chicken will
Shammy, how about you do it, Shammy?
I use an axe, thank you very much.
That chicken will kick your ass, Tom.
Yeah, an axe works pretty good.
He's gonna get you.
But if you're just using your bare hands trying to choke it out, it's.
He'll be like Bart Simpson. He'll be like Homer and Bart Simpson, just trying to choke it.
That chicken has MMA training. It'll fuck you up.
Put you in an arm bar quicker and shit.
Why you little?
Also, I don't know about you, but I'm just saying I wouldn't be able to get any sleep on this stupid island. Like, there's no way. There's dinosaurs here, man. Like, I'm going to set up this tent and a passing brachiosaur is going to step on it. Are you kidding me? And then we have Miss African Predators over here, who not only left undried dinosaur blood on her shirt, but then proceeded to take said bloody shirt and hang it up in the tent she's sleeping in as if she's flipping on an open sign at a diner. And as if that's not overkill enough, she also made sure to sprinkle some candy wrappers and half-eaten graham crackers all around her sleeping bag. Amazingly, only a Tyrannosaur showed up.
It was at this moment.
God, Tom.
Sarah realized.
Oh, look. You're right. She's staring at. Oh, no.
Yeah.
I just realized that it's covered in blood.
Yeah. Like, it is unreal,
I've been
dude.
wearing it all day.
And now I have it hung up in my tent with all of my food that I left also in my tent.
And my boyfriend's daughter.
Oh, now I
no,
should do
animal.
something about that.
I'm sorry. These earth-shaking T-Rex footsteps aren't waking anyone else
Yeah,
up.
just stuff them under the blanket. That's gonna fool them.
Yeah.
It's put away now.
The graham crackers is clearly what was drawing it over to you. Well, this is a nice place you got here.
You got room for one more.
Here, scooch
Sweet
over. I'm
pad.
coming in.
He like lays his head on top of him.
Why are you screaming? Is there something scary out there? Oh God!
Is there a T-Rex up
The
there?
dinosaur's just freaking out. What's going on out there?
The T-Rex starts running away right with them.
Naturally, the only competent human being on this island is going to do the only logical thing and grab a gun. However, he briefly forgot that he's sharing this space with not only incompetent teammates, but also a couple actively malicious ones, and as such found that the shells for his gun are gone. More on that later. If you haven't seen this movie and don't know who did that, I'll give you 3 guesses, but you only need 1. It was Kelly, obviously.
Yeah, good job, PETA. You actually doomed us all.
We can't kill them. They're just trying to kill us.
That'd be mean.
Why would he leave his gun next to those people and then not check it?
Yeah.
Because he's of a sounder mind, and he's like, I can't believe these people are this retarded.
Get ammo out of the showers.
Can't T-Rex in this universe run 30 miles an hour? Why are they not caught up yet?
Because it's really rocky terrain. He keeps
because these people are running 31 miles an hour, obviously.
Yeah, that one. But yeah, now there are 2 Rexes eating everyone, and the only defense we have against them is gone, which of course is going to allow us to thin the cast list a little bit here before we get to the grand finale. We won't go too crazy, obviously. There's still a field of long grass in the clearing ahead.
Bad hunter, always check your shit. Not as bad. He's stuck to the bottom of his foot.
Stuck to the bottom of his foot.
I think getting stomped on by a T-Rex is way less shitty than being eaten to death by little rat things.
Yep. Yeah.
Don't you fucking do that. You seen my health bar, bro? You gotta fill up my health bar with fucking shit, and that wasn't enough.
I'm a boss. I don't get slept. I'm immune.
The only guy with a set of giant balls in this movie.
Yeah, right?
Just stands there one-on-one with a T-Rex.
Yeah, reloading the tranq dart as it's walking towards him.
Looking at it.
Yeah.
Looking it in the eyes as it's reloading.
Best
what
character.
A badass. He's the
Yeah,
best.
yeah, for real.
I wish he was in every Jurassic Park movie.
Man, he should have, like, unironically, he should have been the protagonist of this movie.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
You're dead.
No, red touches black, friend of Jack.
Yeah.
Oh, alright.
No.
Now he's dead.
Yeah.
So you panicked because of a snake and ran to the T-Rex. It's like the part in Lord of the Rings where they're hiding under from the fucking ring race and there's spiders and shit. I'd be like, control my anxiety of my extreme panic because there are weird demon things literally 2 inches from me that are gonna kill me instantly.
Yes, go towards T-Rex.
Got scared
He's
of a
like-
snake, ran into a T-Rex.
He's like, I'll help you. I'll
get
him.
that snake off. Don't worry,
I'll get
dude.
that snake.
Oh,
I hate snakes too.
don't know my own strength, I guess.
T-Rex comes back down. He's like, guys, I got the snake.
Jack Horner,
You're
no.
black, you're fine.
This is for your stupid scavenger
Red
theory.
next to black,
I'm
friend
a
of Jack.
predator.
Why on earth would you see a snake and go, shit, I'll run into a T-Rex, that would be better.
No.
And he was fine too because it's red on black, so it was non-poisonous.
Yeah.
It's funny that the T-Rex is like, Jack Horner's blood will satiate me. This is for your stupid scavenger theory. I'm not just some giant vulture, you piece of shit. It's coming back!
Oh, the T-Rex teleported away. It's okay now.
Yeah.
It despawned.
Yeah. We made it through that level.
I love how they had that like shot or that sound effect of the T-Rex getting ready to roar for absolutely no reason, and then it's just Jeff Goldblum coming in. Like,
Where did the T-Rex go?
Yeah, where'd the T-Rex go? Where was that sound coming from?
It's right there.
Speaking of, I do believe we have in fact come to that point of the movie, and honestly, if nothing else, this is the one thing that I can give Lost World. When it comes to the first couple Jurassic movies, They nailed the raptor scenes. I'd be hard-pressed to say the long grass scene is better than the first movie's kitchen scene, but it's a pretty close second, and I don't think that's a controversial thing to say overall. The shot of the grass being pressed down around the line of people moving through it is just so good. You got that. You got RJ saying the thing.
I like how when he yelled, "Don't go into the tall grass," the guys right next to him just kept running into it.
Yeah, and then he ran into the tall grass.
Yeah, I would not
Yeah.
run into the grass
Right.
at all. I would be like, you know what? I'm gonna stay over here.
The Velociraptors are the cliche bully characters. They'll look at them appearing like, looky what we got here, boys.
You got the raptors picking them off one by one before anyone actually realizes what's happening.
That's so cool.
Just like hitting, just like carrying baseball bats. Like, hey, what you
like how
doing?
nobody has time to
I'm like,
scream.
oh my god, he fell.
They are such efficient killers. Nobody even has time to
No
scream.
This is a really good set piece, to be fair. Like the Velociraptor long grass scene is pretty good.
Yeah.
It is, but you're like, this is where they can hide the animatronics the best to make it,
That too, yeah.
I mean, it still makes sense.
I mean, that's the way to do it. That's like hide hide your special effects. Don't let the audience see it. That's how you do it.
Isn't that why a lot of these scenes in movies are like filmed at night, because it means it's easier to do the shit?
You got this dude screaming before the raptors even jumped out at him. It's great. The last one more so for meme reasons, but still.
Yeah.
Tom liked that one.
I did. That was a bouncy boy.
Yeah.
That was fun. Yeah, look at him go. That Velociraptor was practicing that for weeks. Like, someday I'm gonna do a really cool fucking leap on some prey, and I'm gonna be the talk of the grass.
I'll be the most famous Velociraptor in all the long grass.
They're gonna talk about me in the long grass and Velociraptor newspaper the next day.
It's a good sense of tension. Now, provided Lost World is still kind of riding the high of how well the first movie built the raptors up to begin with. This movie only really had one brief dialogue scene to detail how deadly they are, and Jurassic Park spent pretty much the whole story doing it. It's an important thing to note, because by the time the raptors actually showed up and started becoming a tangible threat, we had had multiple scenes to show us that these things were so much more dangerous than any of the other predators we had seen so far, and were very capable of killing everyone there. Hell, the whole movie happened because they couldn't even move one between cages without it killing someone. As such, if you haven't seen the first movie, this scene loses a little bit of its impact. But honestly, I'm not going to entertain that as a valid criticism. Don't watch the second movie before you watch the first one, my dude. It's a rule that applies to most film franchises.
I don't want to go this way anymore.
Yeah, no, this is a terrible idea. They just killed everybody. Like, no, that means it's clear now. They triggered all the traps. Like, no, they're monsters. They're waiting.
Go as fast as you can.
No, you're not as fast as they are.
Yeah. Run into the tall grass. There you go.
And they live here.
Regardless, the scene is good, and it plays out very nicely. And it's easily my own personal favorite of the film. Unfortunately, all of this leads into what is possibly the most infamous scene in the entire franchise, but, I mean, can't win them all, I guess.
It makes sense. They set it up earlier in the movie.
Yeah. Hey, Will, this movie's worse than the first one.
Yes, it is. It's substantially. Like, goddamn, I do not remember it being this bad.
Yeah.
I can't wait for 3.
Oh, it's not as bad as 2.
Yep.
Remember? They're even doing.
No,
they're doing.
You have a mission.
For this
You
sequel.
have a
Why is
mission.
everybody acting as though the park was up and running already?
Yeah,
Everybody's
doing
just like,
member-
oh man, that park was so great. It's like, it didn't even run yet.
They're doing member berries.
No one was there.
Vince Vaughn nods and he was like, I was never there.
Yeah.
Just go
I
through the
remember-
broken glass.
I remember not
watching
being
this
there.
in theaters.
Yeah.
I remember watching this in theaters in 1993. Anyway, moving on. It's like not only a weird moment to have a member berries moment, but it's so jarring that they have a member berries scene at all, and this is like the first ever sequel of this franchise.
Yeah, right.
They're already doing the member berries trope of like playing the old theme, like melancholy, and like a character looking at it like, Jurassic Park. I remember that.
I remember when I went there as a child.
Yeah.
I remember when I wasn't even there.
Bro, how is this
You
movie
started
still
generator?
happening?
Where'd you get the gas?
That's my question. How is this still currently transpiring?
This just keeps going. It's like this movie's just like.
There's still like 45 minutes left of this movie.
Yeah. What?
This is like the little story that could, Tana.
I might have to order food to hear that at this rate. Jesus Christ. This is still happening.
Yeah. What the fuck? We do have 40 minutes left of this movie.
Yeah, we're a little over halfway.
Jesus.
What the fuck? What the fuck? I need a break. Hang on. I need a minute. That shit.
That hit you hard.
That fucked me up.
Especially because these retards still think that
she
Taco
is
Bell's
dead.
No, her lucky pack saved her.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah. Hey, see? Lucky pack. Oh, I'm sorry.
Good thing the Velociraptor became stupid for a second.
Yep. No, but it had
Why
the
are you running in towards it? What are you doing?
Here. Inside, anywhere.
Yeah, I was like, how'd you lose that one? You were just waving a stick at him.
He's safe now. Oh, no.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They don't care about those things. They're birds. Again, they don't care. They fly into windows all the time. They see you, they're going.
Come here. Why wouldn't you just break this one? Why are you like shoving your snout through it?
Like, imagine if he started rolling the window down right now. You think the Velociraptor would leave him alone after that?
Maybe. I mean, the
Velociraptor just looks
like,
at him embarrassed.
I mean, the Velociraptor's like shredding its skin, just poking its nose through the glass.
Well, yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, the Velociraptor has its snout in there. If he started rolling the window down, it would start cutting the Velociraptor's snout. Like,
absolutely.
One thing that I've never understood about a lot of these movies, especially with dinosaur or any movie that involves like actual like animals like hunting people, the animals put in way too much effort into trying to get the stuff that they can't get. They would just, unless they were starving and desperate, they would just kind of go like, yeah, no, this ain't worth it.
It would have left Jeff Goldblum by now, realistically.
Yeah, I would have been like, well, shit, I can't get you. Also, they had just killed a bunch of people, so it's not like they could just go like, you know what, fuck it, let's go back home.
Well, see, no. They're hyper intelligent. They're stockpiling for the winter, Jake.
Yeah, stockpiling for the winter in fucking South America. Yeah.
Yes.
They're digging in, and they got the idea from the dinosaur to dig out. They're learning from the dinosaur.
Yes.
Where do I go when I'm out? I'm right behind.
Hey, let me in. Thanks.
Man, he just went over there to laugh at him. You know, if you take into account these dinosaurs are intelligent and they're just fucking with these people,
right?
Then it makes more sense.
It does. It becomes significantly funnier.
Yes. But it also makes more logical sense of them toying with these retards.
Yeah.
Because these guys should all be dead several times over.
Hello?
It's interesting the CG color changes when it goes from the CG to...
Here it is.
Oh my god, here it comes.
There we go.
Oh,
like, why are you doing this now?
Imagine seeing, like, if it broke.
Oh, look at it go. Just wait. Wait for it.
Huh?
The Velociraptor's only weakness.
What are you doing?
Flying gymnast.
That would hurt her so bad.
Yeah. Yep, I disagree.
Very much.
But it doesn't make sense because she just got cut from the team. She's supposed to suck, so it doesn't make any sense. Plot hole.
Yep.
The school cut you from the team?
Well, he just addressed it, though.
Yeah, he did address it. There was a line.
I don't care.
Ow! Oh, and a stick. I forgot about the greatest weapon, the stick.
A woman.
Yep.
What the fuck is this? What the fuck am I watching?
Just wait.
Wait for what? What the fuck was that?
Just wait.
What? Jesus Christ.
Oh my god, I got impaled.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Bro, what the fuck? What the fuck was that? Who wrote that?
Steven Spielberg.
Remember, everyone, they set it up earlier in the movie because I guess Spielberg thought it might be a touch out of nowhere that Kelly would decide to gymnastics kick a raptor out a window. Lo and behold, it didn't really help the scene all that much. It's always fun to see since Kelly starts doing the flip before the raptor is actually in the spot where she's planning on kicking it from, meaning she was depending on it to go there beforehand, and she was also depending on Malcolm to go nearby so it would even have a reason to do it in the first place. Also, she was spinning around on that pipe for a solid 23 seconds before the opportunity popped up for her to kick the thing. Her doing this did not distract the raptor, of course. He was too busy doing the equivalent of the evil villain monologue to Malcolm. Quite extraordinary, really. Can't imagine why people didn't take this movie as seriously as the first.
You know, grab one of those things on the door as a weapon, you know? I don't know if it do anything, but...
Nah, come on, Jake. It's a velociraptor. It's invincible.
But it's very clearly not.
No.
It's invincible except when a gymnast kicks it onto a wooden.
Yes, correct. Yeah.
Yeah, and now he's gonna play with her, with other things. The one up top. Now he's just sliding him down. Like, yeah, throw him at it. It's a fun game. We play monkey in the middle.
Hey, no, stop it. No, don't do that.
Oh, wait.
No, I'm gonna slip. That's dangerous.
I'll tell you what, whoever did that roof,
Don't do anything yet.
Don't do anything. Oh,
whoever constructed that roof needs fucking fired.
Sarah, stop moving the tiles. No.
Damn it. That's not safe.
Fall on me.
Look at the velociraptors arguing down there. They're like, you fell on me. I didn't mean to.
You fell on me.
Yeah, it's like Beavis and Butthead skit at this point.
Come here. Yeah.
Good thing it didn't swipe at you on the way down.
Ah, shit, you got me.
Wow, you suck.
You're dead. You see how she landed?
Oh, yeah, no.
She landed on her neck.
The Velociraptors decided to become stupid for a second.
Yep.
Yeah, we're good.
You idiot, how did you fall from there? I just swiped at her.
Oh,
what?
Jesus.
Oh, what the hell?
Fuck?
Where are we?
What?
What the hell?
What the fuck?
I don't understand the geography of what's happening.
Wow, that's it. That was a Rube,
I don't know what happened
That was a
there.
Julianne Moore Rube Goldberg machine.
Oh shit! What? What?
You know.
What?
You know,
Right,
shit
it's fine.
happens.
It's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. Like she fell onto the ground and then fell through a window into another building.
Onto light.
Yeah, onto a light.
Onto the light.
Out
down,
another
rolled
window.
through the window.
And now she's on a pathway nowhere near a building.
Rolled onto a pathway right next to the people that she needed to be with.
Yeah.
Run away.
Like, what was
Crazy.
going on there?
They were just hoping no one would notice.
Yeah.
There was like a clown show tumbling act. Like, whoa! Like, here I am.
But with all that said, it is worth noting that we are in fact inching ever so closer to the ending of this film. What is possibly the most insane and wildly controversial endings to a Jurassic Park movie.
I don't remember if I've seen this whole movie, honestly.
I can understand why you wouldn't have seen this whole movie.
And it's an interesting challenge for me because, as is the theme of today's video, it went through so many different changes, so many different things were cut, so many things were added in last minute. One ending is pterodactyls attacking helicopters, one ending is an extended raptor climax, one ending is Roland and Ludlow hunting the buck tyrannosaur. It is actually insane how many wildly different variations of this ending I've found. And I will go over at least one or two of them because I think it provides an interesting comparison, and it also showcases how they quite literally just chose the worst option they possibly could have. But from what I've found, quite literally everything that took place after the Rex attack on the camp appeared to be in flux for pretty much the entirety of production. Now, as the movie stands, the raptor scene pretty much just stops, and after Sarah finishes falling through a different dimension, we hard cut to the helicopters ushering everyone on. If you think that's a little bit weird, it's because that there was stuff cut out. I know, what an unexpected turn there, huh? In one of those 9 different drafts of this script, it turns out Roland was supposed to be the one to save our trio just before the helicopter arrived. Needless to say, that didn't happen, and so instead the raptors just give up, and our characters kind of just move along through the line until they get to the carny, impatiently motioning them off the ride. Instead, we pick back up with Roland back at the campsite, where Ludlow finds he ended up tranking the Rex since his ammo was stolen. As such, Ludlow is thrilled, seeing that the mission was not a complete failure. He congratulates Roland and then asks why he seems so forlorn. He informs him that RJ didn't make it. And this might catch a few people off guard, since RJ kind of just disappeared after the long grass scene. What's that you say? You think it's because his death scene was cut or something? Damn, bro, I don't know why you would think something like that, but let's explore this little mystery together, shall we? Oh, look at that, it was cut. You mean to tell me there was a context-important scene cut from this movie? Frankly, I'm shocked.
Behind them, AJ's face falls, defeated. He looks around, realizing he too is now stranded in the middle of the long grass. Around him, 4 torpedo trails head straight for him. AJ simply closes his eyes.
All jokes aside, though, you idiots cut RJ's death? Why? It's not even like it was that long. It's not like the 3.5 hours you spent showing us Malcolm and Sarah arguing with each other about their in-laws. No. We had to keep all that in. God forbid we miss a single second of that. But there's just nothing we can do for the 4 sentences of script that encompasses one of the more important side characters dying to velociraptors. Not like it really needs to be said, but Roland and RJ were done dirty in this film. Roland lost his intro scene, and RJ lost his outro scene. Tragedies that I cannot undersell, given that it's for a duo that are leagues more interesting than anybody else in this movie. Justice for RJ, I say. We get like 5 minutes of Peter Stormare getting pecked to death by chickens, but they couldn't give our boy the one shot of a raptor lifting its head out of the grass in front of him. But anyway, Roland exits this movie with the same level of dignity and respect that he entered it with, leaving Ludlow with his prize and his last hope of saving the company.
And now he's gone.
Yeah. He's realized he's like, time to walk out of this franchise.
Yeah.
I'm out of here.
Yeah. Off to another blockbuster 1990s film.
Yeah.
Who I will then be related to as, hey, it's that guy.
Yeah.
Which brings me very nicely to the ending of this movie. And man, oh man. Where do I even start? Like I said, originally the movie was going to end a very different way. As our group was leaving, a big finale set piece was planned with pterosaurs attacking the choppers. Storyboards for this still exist, and pieces of it ended up showing up in future Jurassic movies. From the research I've put in, it also looks like this was the end of the film for quite a while through the course of production. Stan Winston and his team had basically all but completed the pterodactyl animatronics, and pretty much everything was good to go on it. This was going to be the ending. This was what was happening. Even up to the point where the movie was being filmed already. What actually ended up becoming the ending was a fairly last-minute change. Basically, Steven Spielberg just decided that ending wasn't exciting enough. And in fact, the decision that led to what ended up becoming the movie's finale was mostly, if not all, from him. And make no mistake, other crew members were under no delusion that this was a good idea. And in fact, some of them even wrote a letter to him begging him not to make such a drastic change to the film's ending. Suffice to say, he said no. And because of that, we get this. we get another 30 minutes of movie. Not the same movie, make no mistake, but it is definitely movie, and it begins this drivel of madness by informing us that a Tyrannosaur hijacked a boat.
This whole time, it's been coming right for him like that. This whole time, they were just watching it like it was coming at them.
Yeah. It's amazing.
I'm amazed.
Then explodes, and then Tyrannosaurus Rex comes flying out of the explosion. He's gained fire powers.
Yeah, yeah.
So the T-Rex hijacked the ship?
It did.
Yeah, it did. So what happened is that it killed all the people, all the crew on the ship, then went back to its holding cell and locked itself up into its holding cell.
Yep.
What's supposed to be is that there were supposed to be velociraptors on the ship as well, and they
controlled the ship.
Yes.
They killed some of the crew.
Yeah, the Velociraptors hijacked the ship while the T-Rex did cleanup duty.
How'd he kill everybody? Like, how did he get around a ship?
Yeah.
Thinking logistically, that thing isn't stronger than steel.
Oh yeah.
Like, he's not going through bulkheads and shit.
No.
He's in a cargo bay, but a cargo bay has a top that only comes out hydraulically.
He turned
I don't care
invisible,
how
so they
strong
went
you
in.
are. Like, yeah, there's just gonna be like arms in a second or something.
Yes.
Like,
there.
how did he get there?
How did this happen? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
that.
What?
They just took a T-Rex, right? They didn't take a raptor?
Nope, just a T-Rex.
Yeah.
How's the rest of the place not smashed to fuck?
How the fuck did he get up there?
They went mad.
Yes. Yeah. So Event Horizon happened while they were
Yeah.
Like, how did that guy die?
The thing is down there.
Yeah.
It's locked in there right now. How did all these people die on the deck? And up in that room, up a ladder. Who's climbing up there?
Yeah.
It's made of metal. The glass isn't even broken.
Yeah.
The heroic guy who trapped him in the cargo bay.
It's the T-Rex that is Danny Phantom.
Yes.
Oh, how'd he get out?
Was completely silent until
He went back to the cargo bay. He went back to the cargo bay.
Yeah.
He went to go take a nap after he filled his belly.
Yeah.
You administered an antagonist without knowing the proper dosage. You put the animal in a narcoleptic state. The thing's a locomotive now.
What? You put it in a narcoleptic state.
It's a locomotive. Isn't narcolepsy where you randomly fall asleep?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, but technobabble.
Yeah, feed the T-Rex.
Quantum T-Rex!
Feed the T-Rex some modafinil.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. All right. Well,
Yeah,
we're done with
it's Benadryl, you see.
We're done with that character.
We gave it 2.
We
Just in
gave
case.
Gave it 2 Benadryl. We don't understand why it didn't work.
Yeah. Usually 2 just knocks me right out. So
like, then we thought maybe we gave it too much Benadryl, so we gave it some cocaine afterwards.
yeah, we gave it some adrenaline. You know what's that shit called?
Gave it a shot
Fucking,
of adrenaline.
Yeah.
And to reiterate, I do not exaggerate when I say that the T-Rex in San Diego bit doesn't even feel like the same movie. It's made even more odd by the abrupt disappearance of Nick Van Owen, who full-on stops existing after that last shot of him in the helicopter. Again, this is because more stuff was cut. Surprise, surprise. Evidently, we were going to have another scene wherein him and Sarah are trying to fix the baby Rex up again in one of their houses, only to have the adult attack and bring the house down. This was probably meant to slot in somewhere around the scene where it drinks from the pool. But of course, since the people making this movie decided they didn't want coherency or character wrap-ups, Nick just full-on vanishes and never appears in the movie again after this point.
And no one's noticed his T-Rex?
No. Nope. They're too busy doing heroin. It's California after all. roll back over. He just walks out like, nope.
Mom.
There's a dinosaur in our backyard.
No. Here, I will tell you exactly what it is. You have to serve him dinner. He won't be up all night.
It's the stupid fish tank.
It is not the fish tank.
The fish tank is making him see dinosaurs.
Like, they're like, you need to serve him dinner. It's like, what, you don't feed him at night?
You don't feed.
Oh, they phoned that in real hard.
Yeah.
They phoned that in from the other side of the country.
Yeah.
Throughout this finale, several oddly comedic moments happen that feel hyper disconnected from the rest of the movie's tone.
Go faster.
Buses can go faster than this.
12 miles
I love
an
how
hour.
he headbutted that shit, and it like exploded.
Yeah.
We get a shot of a bunch of Asian men in suits running away to further drive in the Godzilla references.
It looks like Godzilla, but due to international copyright laws, it's not. Still, we should run like it is Godzilla.
We get the movie's screenplay writer getting symbolically sacrificed.
Maybe if you weren't a fucking complete idiot, you could have got away. You deserve to get nommed on. At least you got killed by something cool.
We get random Marvel-level humor shots, such as this one, where the T-Rex rolls a gas station sign past our heroes to express anger.
Oh my god, please explode.
Aww.
Aw, boo.
I'm sad that the gas station didn't explode after the T-Rex.
Oh, yeah.
No, why would you slow down?
And this isn't even counting all the things that were cut from this section. Apparently, there also used to be a bit where the Tyrannosaur knocks over a border fence, which allowed a bunch of immigrants to comedically sneak through. Basically, what I'm getting at is that it was very obvious that this was a very last-minute, barely thought-through addition to the film. And the thing is it didn't even need to be this bad. You could have had this same ending without randomly swapping the movie over to a halfway sort of comedy sketch. You just turned this into a weird-ass Godzilla movie. That's all you did. Not least because the Rex is not acting at all the way an animal like this would react to a situation like this. If you wanted to defend this ending for whatever stupid reason, you could probably make the argument that this ties back into the life cannot be controlled theme that permeates this franchise. But just like every single movie in said franchise, the event does not take place because of the perseverance or chaos of life, moreover than it does because everyone on planet Earth is incapable of handling an animal attack. Roland is the only human in the Jurassic Park universe that knows how a gun works, and he's already wisely left this movie. In fact, there was going to be a bit where the military attacks the Rex here, but Spielberg ended up cutting that too because he realized there was no believable way he could make them lose. So instead, we just get a funny ha-ha shot of animal control running away.
Bro, I'm sorry. If I'm a police officer and I get a call saying, hey, there's a T-Rex running through the street, I'm not answering that call. What the fuck am I supposed to do?
Right. It's just instance after instance of things like that, man. And the greatest kicker of all is that the entire reason we got this insanity for the ending is purely because Spielberg wanted to have a shot of a Tyrannosaur looking through a window at a kid. That's not a joke. That's why we got all this. All of this slapstick, goofy-ass Godzilla nonsense, because when they were first brainstorming a sequel, Spielberg wanted this shot. 9 different drafts of this script, guys. 9 of them. You will build me a Jurassic Park sequel around this shot. I don't care how we get here. I don't care what's in the book. I will have this shot. I will remove scenes. I will remove plot points and story elements and context. I will remove entire characters from this movie in order to have this stupid Tyrannosaur looking through this stupid window at this stupid kid for around 5 to 10 seconds of this movie's runtime. I will also have the movie's scriptwriter violently devoured on screen for daring to defy me 8 separate times. Or, I don't know. I guess to be fair, David Kep wanted to get eaten here or something. Or at least that's what Spielberg told him to say during the marketing. In terms of the story, it's pretty much just the Rex rampaging around for a while until Malcolm and Sarah use the baby to lure it back onto the ship, and then Ludlow dies because he's an idiot. In a move of pure genius intellect, he decided to go into the cargo bay that our two heroes put the Rex in for the obvious reason of baiting the adult back into it. This goes about as you would expect. Oh, why would they do that? It's almost like there's a dinosaur roaming around here or something.
Yeah.
No, it couldn't be.
Nah, it couldn't be. Well, I better go put myself in an enclosed space by myself where I can't get out.
No, but there's only one way out.
Yeah.
One way in, one way out.
Yeah.
Totally not a trap.
That way I'll be able to see the only way it could come for me.
Exactly. Makes sense.
And then he's gonna try and get the infant, but the T-Rex is gonna show up, and then it's gonna eat him.
Yes, you're not.
This is basically where it started with the.
How could you come to that
enemies
conclusion,
deal.
Tom? That's definitely not going to happen.
It's just a shot in the dark, okay? I'm swinging for the
Well, it sounds pretty far-fetched, to be honest.
It is pretty
with you.
far-fetched, but I don't know.
I don't think
Like,
anything close to that is going to happen.
I just have it. I don't know. It's just. A
I
gut
think
feeling,
he's going to get away with the baby T-Rex, put it in
With
a
the
zoo
baby
and make
teeth?
millions. Mhm.
I think a UFO is going to land on the ship and then kidnap the baby.
Oh, yes, yes.
And then it's gonna be T-Rex in space.
And then a quiet
Yeah.
place monster is going to tackle
Oh,
Ludlow
look.
from off screen.
Oh, look,
my
they
God.
took the
Yeah.
muzzle off.
Yeah.
So you know how there's like a booming noise when the T-Rex is walking normally?
Yeah. You think that the ship would be echoing it all now?
Yeah.
Come here,
Dude,
doggy.
why would you even try with a baby?
Okay, you don't hear the footsteps of the T-Rex
No,
there.
No.
No, as is established, it shakes an entire in-ground swimming pool. But he's not going to
No
feel
Pinus
it,
boxes.
stomping up to him.
No, please don't eat me. I'll pay you handsomely.
The T-Rex is the good guy in this movie.
Yes.
They were just living their lives.
Look at the mother's like, go on, son.
No, that's bad.
Yeah.
He's yours.
That's the dad.
Thanks, Daddy.
I mean,
Oh, it's
he's so
Dad.
stupid, he might as well have just ran directly into its mouth.
The dad's like, go on, son. He's all yours.
The way he went, he might as well have just ran
That's my
directly into
boy.
its mouth. Yep.
Thanks, Daddy.
Now, in addition to everything I just laid out, I mentioned I would go into detail about at least one of the other possible endings this movie could have had. I've done some research on this one, and I've found quite a bit of interesting tidbits I never actually knew about. This being one of them. And it fits very well into what I was saying earlier about making sure your story ties back into itself. With that said, we're actually going to need to rewind a little bit all the way back to the scene where the Rex parents attacked InGen's camp, as this is where things officially veered off. I will be skimming through the information, so if you are interested in seeing the full context, I have provided a link to the video I'm referencing in the description below. And I would urge you to give the full thing a listen, as it's incredibly interesting. It involves Roland, so therefore it's the best thing ever by default, and also the video maker was kind enough to allow my use of his footage.
In this version of the script, Nick Van Owen does not take the bullets out of Roland's gun, and instead a Rex stomps on his tent and pushes the rifle into the mud while the dinosaurs attack the fleeing men. The long grass scene soon takes place after, and the last few survivors meet back up at where their camp had just been trampled. He drops his pack, swings his gun off his shoulder, and checks the load. I'm going after the Rex. I saw a fresh kill back in the valley with Tyrannosaur tracks all over. If I'm not back in time, don't wait for me. Sarah asks if he's kidding, and Roland responds that it's against his nature to hole up in a cave and wait. Now Ludlow asks if he thinks the Rex might have the infant with it, and Roland says that it is possible. Now Ludlow takes off his hat and turns to Nick. You know how to work a radio, don't you? Dr. Harding asks if Ludlow's going as well, and he responds that yes, he lost everything he came after on this trip, but one T-Rex and one theme park could single-handedly bail InGen out of Chapter 11. He takes a slip of paper from the brim of his hat and hands it to Nick. This is the broadcast frequency. ID yourself as Harvest Leader. You know what to tell him. Ian Malcolm asks the gentlemen if they feel this is what they have to do right now. And Roland says that it's the perfect time. The animal just fed, so it won't stalk us for food. Predators don't hunt when they're not hungry. He and Ludlow turn and make their way back into the jungle. Further on, Roland and Ludlow continue to follow the footprints. To the right, the ground gives way to hard black volcanic rock. A short distance behind them, the rock is solid, a massive green pebbled boulder 10 feet high. Roland frowns and whispers in Ludlow's ear again. We took to the rock. Why? Ludlow asks. In front of Roland, a palm tree sways gently in the night breeze. His eyes widen. He pulls out another pinch of campfire ash and releases it in the wind. This time, the ash blows off, straight away from him. Wind shift, he whispers. They freeze, terrified. Behind them, the enormous green pebbled boulder opens an eye. It's the male Tyrannosaur, standing rock solid still, its natural camouflage blending into the surrounding foliage. Very slowly and almost silently, the Rex brings its head all the way around until it's staring directly down at them from about 10 feet away. Roland and Ludlow stand frozen, their back to the Rex, unaware of its presence, until it exhales. The soft snort of its breath isn't quite audible, but it brushes the hair on their necks ever so slightly. Their hearts drop into their stomachs. Ludlow speaks, his voice a queasy hiss. It's behind us. Roland answers in the softest whisper. It's just fed. It won't attack unless it's threatened. Don't move. As the Rex silently cocks its head, sizing up the danger from the intruders, it breathes again. A few strands of Ludlow's hair flap in the exhalation. He closes his eyes, near tears. He can't take it. His eyes dart, glancing down at the weapon he holds in his hands. Unfortunately, it's extended in front of him, away from the Rex. He risks another hiss. If I don't move, I can't shoot it. Roland responds, Let it go, Peter, the animal won. Behind them, the Rex appears satisfied. It starts to swing its massive head around, back toward the jungle. It lifts one great leg and takes a step into the trees. Roland sighs and closes his eyes, relieved. But Ludlow seizes the opportunity. He whips his weapon around and drops to one knee. No! Roland screams. The Rex is infinitely quicker. Ludlow just has time to squeeze off a short burst of semi-automatic gunfire when the animal whirls. It took one elegant step forward and pounced. Ludlow's bullets rip harmlessly through the foliage between the Rex's legs as its big head snaps forward and comes down jaws wide. They close around Ludlow's body, lift him straight up into the air, and toss him once, readjusting their grip so it's firmly around his midsection. The whole combination of movements takes but half a second. By the time Roland turns around, the animal has pivoted and darted back into the jungle, carrying Ludlow, still screaming and writhing in his mouth. Roland raises his gun to draw a bead on the animal, but through the shivering trees, he can only see that the Tyrannosaur is gone. Soon after, Peter Ludlow, still alive, drops through the air and crunches to the muddy ground. Dizzy, bleeding, the breath knocked out of him. He opens his eyes and sees a sloping bank of dried mud. From behind him, he hears a chirping sound. He turns. He's in the nest. The baby Tyrannosaur faces him, still in a strange aluminum foil cast on its leg. It squeaks with excitement and toddles its way towards him. Ludlow scrambles to his feet, unsure of what to do. Both adult Tyrannosaurs stand outside the nest, staring down at him. The baby runs towards Ludlow, so he turns and runs away. But in an instant, the male brings its head down, knocking Ludlow to the ground. The male closes its jaws around one of his legs, holding it tightly. Ludlow screams. It bites down ever so decisively, and the bone breaks with a dry snap. Ludlow howls in pain, unable to move, and the baby toddles forward eagerly. He can only stare as it leaps up onto his chest and opens its jaws wide. Peter Ludlow screams.
Now, there are a couple things to note with this. First off, it slots very well into the tone of the movie and allows the aforementioned pterodactyl scene to play out as it was originally planned. It also allows Roland to still be the one that returns after all this and saves Malcolm and his group from the velociraptors beforehand. An excellent line from Roland occurs while he's warning Ludlow to stay still, wherein he says that it's over and the animal won. And that ties incredibly well back into the other deleted scene of this film.
True hunter doesn't mind if the animal wins.
Ludlow can't accept that it's over because he can't let InGen go under, and thus the dichotomy of Ludlow and Roland is laid out with a neat little bow wrapped around it. Roland completed his hunt and graciously accepts defeat, and Ludlow gets eaten for being a poor sport. And this in turn gives Ludlow a more appropriate death, since it happens due to his refusal to give up even after defeat has clearly arrived, and not just because he forgot there was a T-Rex walking around. It's wild to think that Roland had both his introduction scene and the conclusion to his story violently torn away from the script, and yet through it all, he still managed to be one of people's top picks for the best character, towering above everyone else with the likes of Robert Muldoon. In addition to the fact that this absolutely would have been a preferable ending to what we got. We didn't need to take dinosaurs back to the mainland. Everybody who's not an InGen employee knows that's a bad idea. And call me crazy, but I immensely prefer a good character and his thematic conclusion than realizing that Steven Spielberg wanted to make a Godzilla movie instead. Nah, but people don't like the human parts of Godzilla movies. Yeah, but you can still do the human parts correctly and have it be more fulfilling than the giant monster bits. Anything done correctly can be more fulfilling and preferable to the giant monster bits. Just because not a single Godzilla movie is done, it doesn't mean it can't be done in general. It's interesting as well, because apparently another version of the ending involved Malcolm saying some words at John Hammond's funeral, which also feels like it would have slotted in a lot better than what we got, and would have given us a rather more conclusive and poignant sense of closing to the film. Don't get me wrong, the movie still wouldn't have been as good as its predecessor, but it actually kind of shocks me how close it got to being really good. Even with all of his scenes cut out, Roland hard carried this film on his back, and once he left, the entire premise fell to pieces.
This movie is so fucking weird.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I've forgotten most of it.
Yeah, like I don't remember it feeling this like disjointed.
It is absolutely imperative
that everybody leaves my money machine alone.
And if we could only step aside and trust in nature.
Like, the world just found out that dinosaurs are real, and now John Hammond is expecting everybody to just leave them alone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I accidentally brought
real.
dinosaurs back, but if we could just let them live in peace and
If you could,
nobody ever go visit Dinosaur Island, that would be
There's
great.
no way these dinosaurs would be that close to the T-Rexes.
Yeah, the T-Rexes are just chilling next to
Oh,
the
look.
Hey, look! Look at the flying ones!
Hey!
Yeah.
Hey!
They stay within the.
Yeah, they stay on the
shore.
island. Yeah.
I can't believe they put fucking pterodactyls in the end of the movie because what, they never left the fucking island?
No, they don't. They all
This
stay
pissed
on
me
the.
off as a kid even. I was like,
No,
what the fuck?
No.
Now they're saying that there's pterodactyls?
You're being unreasonable.
Or whatever the fuck those are, I don't know, but
They fixed that in the third film why they never left.
Yeah. They retconned it. Like, actually, all the pterodactyls were just in a big cage, and that they just lived in there forever.
Yep.
Yeah, apparently.
Until humans got into the cage.
Yeah, until man interfered.
Weird.
Yeah,
200 miles from Costa Rica in either direction off the coast. Yeah, you can get to.
Yeah, look how much how far a seagull travels in a day. Dude, we've had them out on our mast like days out at shore, from shore.
World's fastest seagull sons escort by flying 520 miles.
Yeah.
Weird. I think this giant one can probably get pretty far.
Yeah.
Nah, they stay on the island.
Yeah, it's like how the T-Rexes aren't eating all those other motherfuckers. They're just hanging out.
Yeah. Everything's happy now.
It's the land before time in this bitch.
Yeah, everything's happy.
Can we turn this off now? This is fucking atrocious.
And finally, I have one last thing I want to talk about before I wrap this video up. A little something I've been keeping in the old back pocket for the grand finale. And as such, I would like to direct your attention to this fellow. Nick Van Owen is the villain of this movie. He is unironically the bad guy. Do you realize how many people this man got killed? Well, the abridged version is that basically everyone who dies in this film does so either directly or indirectly because of him. Allow me to explain, and we'll play the counting game while we're at it. It'll be great fun. If Nick hadn't sabotaged the hunters' camp, their communication systems wouldn't have been destroyed. Everyone wouldn't have been forced to go to the communication station in the middle of raptor territory in order to get off the island. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. If Nick would have just left the stupid-ass baby T-Rex alone, Eddie would still be alive. 9. If Nick wouldn't have stolen Roland's ammo, the Rex attack on the camp would have ended significantly sooner. 10, 11. And here's the real kicker. The real butterfly effect of stupidity here. If Nick wouldn't have stolen Roland's ammo, Roland would have killed the T-Rex instead of tranking it, and therefore Ludlow would have had nothing to bring back to San Diego. 12, 13, 14. Also, one of those kills was a dog, so I'm counting it as 3, 15 and 16. And for those of you who think I'm being unreasonable with that statement, it evens out because I can't keep counting beyond that. Who knows how many people were on that transport ship that all died, and who knows how many other people the Rex killed while it was rampaging through the city.
I just like this made me so mad that Vince Vaughn did that. They took the bullets out of the guy's gun.
Oh yeah. He killed
Like-
so many people because of that. So many people died because of that.
Yeah, to save
These are the
Yeah, he's like, I saved the
carnivorous
dinosaurs.
devouring
It's like,
animal.
no, you really didn't.
All of these things happened specifically because Nick did something stupid that kicked it off. Sure, Sarah worked with African predators and she had blood on her shirt and she just kind of left it there, but she wouldn't have even been in that position to begin with had Nick left the baby alone. If it weren't for the fact that they were trying to portray him as one of the good guys, I would almost call it cleverly done, because my God, he actually just butterfly effect murdered everybody. It even continues to be accurate for me to continue calling him PETA, because the casualty list includes animals. Vince Vaughn actually just walked into this movie, murdered everybody, and then left. So how's that for an unexpected twist villain? We all thought it was the evil corporation trying to make money. Turns out it was the activist. Funny old world, isn't it? And with that, if you are still listening, then many congrats all around. We have made it to the end of the Lost World. And I have to say, I feel significantly less drained than I did at this point of my Jurassic World Dominion video. And that's a good thing, because I still have a lot of work left to go from here. Yes, we have a new Jurassic movie coming out in July, and I intend on being prepared for it. A review of Jurassic Park 3, Jurassic World, and Fallen Kingdom are all in the pipeline and will be with you in the nearish future. Yes, indeed, I'm going full-on dinosaur theme this year, and we will be exploring this franchise in further depth with the remaining sequels I have yet to visit on this channel.
Now, is there anything stupid about in the later films that
Hey,
baby
what are you doing?
is a
nothing.
character, a dinosaur in these later films that they claim?
Dan, there is nothing stupid about anything in any of the future films.
Yeah.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
why
I
would you?
forgot.
Why would you say that?
How could I be so naive? I'm too pessimistic. I
That's
guess.
true. It's true. Yeah. And so, if you're new here, leave a like, subscribe, and join us as we venture into the jungles of Isla Sorna and Nublar. And to everyone who's made it this far into the video, a very, very sincere and humble thank you to you all. It warms the heart knowing that you guys still enjoy listening to me ramble, and I hope to continue rambling to you for many videos to come. But we're watching some dinosaur movies this year, dear viewer, and I hope you'll be able to join us for them. But until that time, I will bid you all farewell for now. I will see you again soon within the madness that is Jurassic Park 3. Thank you all so much again for watching, and I'll see you again soon. Stay well. Because, you know, these sequels always get, like, better and better every time a new one comes out.
Jurassic World Dominion is one of the most miserable experiences I've had, and I only ever watched it with my friends. And
Like, I don't...
Rebirth the next one?
Rebirth is the
Yes.
next one. Like, I don't know
Oh,
how they could make it
God.
worse than Dominion, but I believe in them to
Well, they're
to
gonna
keep
try.
up the trend. Yeah. There is a trend they have to keep up with. Every Jurassic Park movie progressively gets worse. They need to make this one worse than Dominion, or I'm gonna be mad.
Yeah. I'm expecting failure, not greatness.
Better be bad.
If they know what's good for them, it better be bad.
Exactly.
Exactamundo.